We're rolling.
All right. Welcome back to Define Insanity.
Jesus, that was a long one.
That was a long one, Joe. I did that because it pisses Joe off a little bit. I like to piss him off.
He stares right in my eyes while he does that.
Oh, no blinking.
That was intense eye contact.
Yeah. So I just looked down like a scared little boy.
You did. I'm the dominant. I'm the dominant male in this room right now.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
I showed my dominance.
I know.
And I'm thinking about maybe even pissing on your foot right now.
No, I know. You're definitely the top in this relationship.
Get the Swiffer.
Yeah,
Casey, is this true?
What, that you're going to piss on my floor?
Well, no.
I'm more of a power bottom kind of guy anyway.
I'm the dominant male in this room right now.
I'll say coming out of the gate, so you felt a little dominant.
I did,
Yeah, absolutely.
That was
100%.
I was totally, you know why?
Very impressed.
I've been eating a lot of protein lately.
Right.
Yeah, and he stopped and got fruit, and he still came on time. Isn't that amazing?
I did. I got fruit, but I dipped my fruit in gravy. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Not only was he on time, he was 3 minutes early.
Oh,
which,
hey now.
I was on time, but
Call the fucking FBI.
I did have a situation today. At Stop and Shop. I got into a big argument. I was yelling at fucking Marty, and he was following me around.
Who the
He
fuck
ran
is Marty?
Marty, the fucking
the robot.
Yes,
Oh,
the
that
robot.
cunt. I kicked that thing in the balls the other day. It was following me around for fucking like 20 minutes.
It doesn't have balls.
Well,
does
you
it?
You just called him Marty, so I'm assuming. Am I assuming
You
his
just
gender?
gendered the robot.
I did, but you know what? It says Marty on it, and Marty could be
Wait
like
a
a
minute,
girl
real
too.
quick.
I've known female Martys.
Real quick, how funny would a prank like that be if like we made a cock and balls and just attached it to the robot at Stop and Shop?
like those truck nuts. You just
Yeah.
hang it from the front of Marty
let's
the
do it.
robot at
How
Stop
long
and
do you
Shop.
think it would take for somebody to notice that?
Let's do it. I'm down. Yeah, Marty's a piece of shit. All right, because it was following me around.
I don't understand what it does. It just
It gets in my
creeps you
way
out.
on
Yeah.
purpose. I swear to you, AI is fucking becoming like sentient.
it's starting to change.
It's just collecting more
Marty
and more data.
wasn't like this a couple of months ago. I'm telling you, I took
Marty's
a step
changed.
forward. The robot took a step. It was getting in my way on purpose.
I know.
And then I
facial
dropped.
recognition. That's why I kicked him in the balls.
I dropped a wrapper on the floor.
Wait, like LL Cool J?
No, like a wrapper, it was in my pocket just to see what Marty would do.
Oh.
And Marty rolled
W.
Yeah.
passively.
I was trying to think of midget rappers that
No.
would be fucking carrying around.
little Ja Rule.
No. What's the other one?
Any rapper named Lil,
Yeah,
I guess,
Lil
could probably
C's,
fit in your
Lil
pocket.
C's.
Lil-
Who's the other one?
Lil Bow Wow.
CeeLo was pretty
All right,
fucking
enough
small.
with the rappers.
All right.
Dude, so Marty comes up to, rolls past a rapper and totally passive aggressive and
Looked
stops.
at you like you're not going to pick that up, you cunt.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've become like a grumpy old man that hates technology. You know, in the old days, your parents would be like, "Oh, that music, it's just noise." Now we can talk about rappers. That rap music, it's just noise. That's how I am now with robots. Like all the kids today, robots is like part of their life. It's part of, robots, AI. No, fuck that. I've seen iRobot. I've seen Terminator 2. I know what the fuck is coming next.
know,
all right?
Do you have an Alexa?
I do, but I'm abusive.
You invited
towards
it right in.
I'm abusive towards it.
Why would you do that? I'm so nice to my
When I ask
ChatGPT.
him, I know, because you think, here's what Joe thinks. Joe thinks when AI eventually does take over the world, that they're going to not kill Joe because Joe's being polite. No, it's not how it works. They're going to sense your weakness and go for you first.
If we were in prison, I'd be holding fucking AI's pocket ready to deep throat their cock. That's me right now. Because
know,
when they
that's
take
fucked
over,
up,
they're going to
dude.
be like, this guy's he's a nice guy.
See, that's the
He's going
difference.
to put Marty's truck nuts right in his mouth.
This is why I'm the dominant male in the room. See, I would fill up a pillowcase with soda cans.
Soda cans?
Oh yeah, I already thought about it. I have so many plans of what to do if I was in prison.
And that was your big plan?
Yeah,
He's prison prepping.
yes, I would fill up
A pillowcase of soda cans?
and then I would bash the
What are you
bad
gonna
guy's
get,
head
diabetes?
apart.
Bad guy.
gonna
It's a
kill him with
fucking-
diabetes.
It's a killer robot. What are you
Well,
talking
so
about?
what? I'm just saying in general. I made up this plan before the killer robots.
No,
I'm
wait,
saying
that's
now
not-
I would use it.
I'm telling you, a can full of fucking
Soda can. Pillowcase full of soda cans. That's the dangerous
that's not
weapon.
good. I'm blowing them. You're
Straight to the blowing.
You can't. Well, it's a robot. You can't blow a robot. Robots
figure
don't
it
have
out.
that.
I'll figure it out. Yeah,
never
yeah.
say never.
Yeah.
These things are evolving very quickly.
Exactly. Excuse me, Marty. What do you like?
You see what's going on
What are
here?
you into, Marty?
Do you see what's going on here? I've become this old curmudgeon, and Joe is going in the opposite
He's
direction.
adapting with the times. That's all.
You got to change, brother.
Yeah.
You gotta
Oh my
change.
god!
Or get left behind.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I'm getting left behind. I took another Hinge date. I swiped right. Was it swipe right?
I don't fucking know. I'm not.
Better
on
figure
that
out
shit.
which way you're swiping.
I just don't know my rights and lefts. The good swipe.
I
Good
can
swipe.
turn left.
Yeah. So with a girl who's only 22 years old, right? So half my
You have a
age.
lot in common.
Well, we had nothing in common, but I had to fake it.
Being sarcastic.
You didn't pick that one up.
Well, listen, I'm pretty young. I'm young at
You're
heart.
young at heart.
I just don't know the slang that the
just said
kids
you were a
use today.
curmudgeon.
Right.
I'm becoming an
Whatever
old
the hell that
curmudgeon,
means.
but I'm also an actor, Joe.
Oh.
All right, I'm an actor. You know by my amazing accents, I do.
We know the accents.
We know
So,
them very
so the bottom line is here. All right, I don't understand what these kids are talking about. They use words like instead of saying okay, they go bet. And if they I don't like bet. Like she kept saying bet. She's like, oh my god,
Wouldn't
bet.
it be like raise?
I don't know that. I don't know why bet, but bet means like okay, oh that's cool or something like that.
Yeah,
and then there's like bussin' and
Bussin', I like that.
Bussin'
one.
on God.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
When they mean it's absolutely bussin', they're saying it's bussin' on God.
But what does that?
Is that what
actually
is that
mean?
what it's short
That
for?
means totally bussin'.
That doesn't make it any more understandable. Just so you know, you
No,
adding
I'm not
you
justifying
adding
it.
context
Could
to it
you
doesn't
use
help.
it in a sentence?
Yo, them fajitas you made me was bussin'. That's how she talks.
So it means good.
Yeah,
I
bussin' is
think
good.
So, yeah.
All right. Or
Yeah.
is it great?
I don't
Is
know.
it more like great?
More like great, and bet
Phenomenal.
means like okay, oh bet, and
Okay.
and
Means like,
no
oh,
bet.
yeah.
Like
I
you're
think
agreeing.
she was using things like no bet and
bet?
crash out.
Wait.
Oh yeah, crash out's a big
That's
one.
just wait. Crash out. Does that
Yeah.
mean fucking
like I think
No, crash
go to
out means
sleep.
like you're spinning out, like you flipped out.
Oh, I thought you meant like go to sleep because I
No,
did want to
no.
go to sleep. I had to get up early.
yeah, you needed a nap. You're an old
Right,
man.
I had to get up early. I had to
Right.
I have
Crash
a
out. I thought
pinochle
that meant-
game in the morning. Yeah.
If someone crashes out, it's like someone going like losing their mind and like freaking out. You
Oh,
crash
that's
out.
why
See, I heard-
It's all
that's why
making
the date
sense.
went south because I said,
Yeah.
I want to crash out because I wanted to. I
no.
wanted to go to bed.
I thought it meant fuck because I heard crash. I thought crushed, and I thought smash.
It was just a couple of leaps away. From
Yeah,
there.
yeah. From what is it? Jersey Boys.
Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore. Yeah, Jersey Boys.
And
Jersey Boys.
What
the-
about-
the popular Broadway musical?
That's where that came from.
They're all out
can't-
there to smash.
you can't use stuff like that.
No.
You can't. She don't understand stuff like that. It's a
No,
22
she's
year old
22.
girl.
No,
She's
So-
like.
So
Yo,
what'd you do? You
tapping?
take her out to a bowl of soup or something? What,
No,
what do you?
stop.
What does an old man do with a young girl?
I took her to McDonald's. What
There
do
you go.
think?
Let her hang out in the ball pit.
Yeah.
No, they don't even have any. When I was a kid, McDonald's used to
course not.
have like
No, 'cause
playpens.
everybody's scared of fucking.
right now. It's like nothing.
But I'm
They
not,
got
I'm,
no-
not, I'm not a germaphobe, but man, there's got to be some dirty shit in a McDonald's ball pit.
Oh my god! It was a
Best
good
thing they ever
decision.
did was getting rid of those
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
I don't-
It was definitely a good
yeah, no,
decision.
it was-
Our parents were crazy. Like, yeah, go play in
Just
that. Go over there.
Go swim in the hepatitis.
Yeah, but you know what? Because of that, I have a amazing immune system. I got COVID. It was a mild cold. I showed up to work. Like, you have the sniffles. Take a COVID test. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll take it. Oh, look at that. I got full blown COVID. I was able to work
Yeah.
out. I was fine.
I think your immunity came from like those grinder clubs that you were
I don't
visiting. That's
use
what I think.
Grinder. I don't know what you
Are you
guys
sure?
explained to me. This Grinder thing. It's
He
like
knows
Well, you
what-
kept
he
on
knows
saying
what Grindr
Yeah,
is.
you kept on saying swipe right or left or whatever.
that's
okay to know what it is,
A hinge
Justin.
date. A hinge date that I took with the girl.
Oh, the 22. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
She
right.
she was a little off the wall, and she talks like, you know what it reminded me of, like Rosie Perez from White Man Can't Jump. That's how she was talking.
I sense
That's
an
so
accent
hot.
coming on.
That's
right
so hot.
She
I
was-
love. I love.
She was like,
Rosie
"Oh my
Perez.
God, Justin, you're so stupid. You want to crash out? No bed. Let's cap it, baby." I think I'm using those
No
words
cap.
right.
I think
No
I just.
cap.
I think I
No
just
cap,
went from,
baby.
I went from 6 to midnight. I love those voices.
I remember as
Oh
a
my God,
kid.
you're so stupid,
do, you know,
Joey.
do you know how many times I beat off to White Man Can't Jump?
I was just about to say, remember Rosie Perez's side boob in
Of
Right Man
course.
Can't Jump?
I paused and
I-
it was just fucking. I was
there
like,
hasn't-
I was literally just about to talk about Rosie Perez's side boob.
First of all,
in White Men Can't Jump.
there hasn't been a side boob.
We all know
I've ever
the
seen.
side
of course,
boob.
and a
Yeah,
nipple
forgotten.
sticking out.
Yeah.
A nipple was as long
I
as my
can't
nose.
think, I
sticking
can't
out
think of a
that
more
shirt.
memorable side boob.
Do you think
Yeah.
women
In
know
cinematic history.
Do you think women know about the side boob? Because
How can they
I
not?
saw a girl in Trader Joe's, a MILF, and she had like side boob was just blasting, just completely. And does she know what she's doing? Because she was fucking killing me.
I think it was a simpler time in the 90s where we could have been.
No, this was
we
like
could have
2 days
enjoyed a
ago.
side boob. Now it's just like,
I've seen it all.
yeah, I don't know. It's
Side
like it is
boob's
a
like-
time.
she might as well have a
90s side
bra and
boob was a
turtleneck
time
on.
and place.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah, because now it's like wearing a bra and turtleneck back then. I
Yeah,
fucking
thanks.
see naked broads all the time. All of them are walking around half naked. Every bathing suit now is a thong.
You had to
It's
be
like-
there. You had to be in the 90s. You had to, you know.
Yeah.
See,
it's
that's what I was trying to explain
You had
to this
have
girl.
to pause at a certain time in a movie to get a beat off in because you didn't have access to porn.
It was just like
Joe,
a flash in the pan with that side
Joe
boob.
used to jerk off to like WWF. Like you can't like
Yeah, but Ultimate
finding things
Warrior,
for Joe
man.
to jerk off to. See,
He was
like,
amazing.
That's not you're not exactly like reaching for the stars there, you know. It's like he'll just jerk off to literally anything. Joe once told me a story about him jerking off to the female lion in The Lion King.
Now hold up.
Nala, I think her name was.
Elaborate?
Nala, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, and this is a true story, but let's get something clear here. It was the older Nala. It wasn't when they were like
Joe,
fucking
it's a
little.
cartoon. You're jerking
All right.
off the cartoon, not even
All
Betty
right.
Boop or anything,
I'm
like
gonna
a fucking lion.
Let me.
Jerking off to Betty Boop?
Yeah.
Well, I did. When I was
Yeah,
younger.
of course,
you know,
but that's like
she's pretty hot.
It's like jerking off to J Lo. What are
Betty
you
Boop was
doing?
Smoking hot.
Grow up.
Smoking hot.
Grow up. Cartoon bestiality is more like it.
Oh, that's so gross.
So anyway, had to be maybe 9, 10, maybe more. I don't know. But there's a part there where Nala and Simba have graduated. They're older now, 18, 19, maybe 20. I don't know, right? But they're like
I don't know
adults.
if it works like that with
Yeah,
lions.
they're young adults.
They're young adults, and they're in the forest. They're in the Amazon, wherever they are, and they're running, they're playing, and then there's this
Africa.
moment.
The Amazon's in
I think
South
they were in
America.
All right. So I'm not a fucking geologist. What do I know?
Jeez.
You
What
clearly
fuck
didn't hang
do I
on to
know?
the plot of Lion King.
I wasn't thinking about the plot. I was thinking about fucking jerking off.
Yeah, but so get to the point where, like, I just want to understand your mentality of like why,
trying to.
how you found a
You're getting
cartoon
all-
lion
You're
sexy.
getting all caught up on the specifics.
Yeah,
Amazon,
we're getting
fucking
into
Africa, who
geography
cares?
here. It's neither here nor there.
Let's hear. Oh, that's a pun. That's
Yeah.
nice. That's nice. I like
You
that.
saw what I did there.
Yeah, I did.
The bottom line was they're playing, right? They're having a great time. And then there's this one moment where they settle down and he's got eyes on her and she's got eyes on him. And her bright blue eyes and her mouth is like half open, tongue out, little fangs. And I just couldn't help myself. I knew what she wanted. You know, I knew what time it was. It didn't matter that it was a cartoon movie with two lions. They were about to fuck. She was giving him the fuck me eyes.
Yo, Cap. I'm calling Cap.
So
No cap. On God.
Yo, Cap.
what is that?
I think it means to lie.
Cap is lie.
Lie, yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, you sus. Yo, oh my God, Joey, you sus.
What does that mean?
I did.
Suspicious.
Yeah, like suspicious. It's sus. That one's actually pretty acceptable.
Is it sus that I beat off to the cartoon lion?
It's a
Or are
little
you
sus.
saying that? No, I was a
On
young
God.
boy. I was just experimenting. I didn't know what to do with it. As soon as I found it, I just want to beat it up all the time.
No cap.
No cap, no Riz. See, you got to practice this terminology
Riz
if you
is
want to date young girls.
Riz is the middle
I
syllable
don't
of
want to date young
charisma.
girls.
Riz, yes. See that Riz? What? Who doesn't want to date? I'm not talking about
I don't.
like. Look, 22 is a little too young. I'm shooting honestly. I'm shooting for between 28 and 32. That's like my ideal range. I'll go up to 35, but I'm looking for 29. Like I want to celebrate your 30th birthday party. Like that is I'm
Popping
44.
bottles?
Well, men age differently than women. Let's be honest here. So, like
'Cause we're
I'm
fucking
able to
idiots.
have babies when I'm like 70. A woman,
Holla at your boy. dude.
39, 40, boom. She's
might
out
not be able to
She's out of
have
gas. Some
babies now,
some
dude.
eggs don't work no more.
You might not be able to have babies now.
I could have
The way
babies.
they're making men these days.
Oh, I could have babies.
You sure?
Well, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but
Justin's
I'm pretty
been
sure.
donating sperm. He's got kids all over the place.
I have. Oh, yeah, that's true. But that was years ago. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
I
So-
wonder because you don't know. You might meet your daughter when she's 29 years old, and you don't even know
I hope
because you're
so.
donating all these sperms.
No, I don't know. I feel you. They ask you if you want to allow them when they turn 18 to hunt you down or whatever they call it.
yeah.
Get you. And I said, yeah, let them
Get
all. Let them all. Let them all get me. Come on, and I invite them all because I would
the
like
weirdest
to meet
game of hide and seek.
them. I don't know. My terminology is a little off there.
Oh yeah, well because you're hanging out with 22-year-olds and fucking repeating what they're saying. See, I'm up to date. You got to be more malleable like me. I just don't use those words, but I know what they mean. You know, you get all shooken up. by
Malleable?
robots. Malleable.
He definitely looked that word up before the show.
I
and
need to look
was
that word up.
waiting to use it because he's like, oh, I'm gonna sound smart today. I'm gonna look up a word that sounds really cool. Malleable. Oh. Now you finally found a way to use it.
Word of the day: toilet paper, dude.
Malleable. That's like molding. Like when you.
That's right.
Like clay.
That's right.
Like
I'm
clay is malleable.
I'm open-minded. I'm malleable. I can fucking.
You don't know
maneuver.
what malleable is until you've dated a 22-year-old girl and taken her to McDonald's
I
and tried
dated
to.
a 22-year-old girl when I was fucking 22 or 25 maybe, but
Dude,
still.
you have no idea what it's like to try to keep up with their lingo. All right.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to do that. I like being old, dude. I like exactly where
Yeah,
I'm
but
at
you
right
like
now.
old broads?
Oh yeah, who's that broad from Golden Girls?
Oh God, he loves old
Jen
broads.
with the stop my mom will shoot lady.
I've always been into older broads.
Estelle Getty.
Yeah. Oh, those glasses.
She wasn't really that old, in Golden Girls. She was
but
wearing makeup.
I would
she was
want
like
to.
of normal age. She was like probably 50.
That's fine, but I would make her dress up like that.
Like a grandma?
That's right. I'd be like, go fucking put your Golden Girls.
So you into
outfit on.
gilfs?
I'll be like, go put your fucking Golden Girls outfit on. Get those glasses on. Meet me in the bedroom.
That's disrespectful.
I mean,
That's disrespectful. You can't talk to
kind of
someone like
honoring
that.
her if
Yeah.
you think about
You
it.
need,
You
to,
ever see,
you need to talk to women more respectfully.
You ever see Zohan when he's taking all the older broads, cutting their hair and banging the shit out of them?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
the fucking happiest people on earth.
It's probably the reason I don't watch that
spreading
movie
joy.
again. No,
I'm
I
spreading
found
joy.
that to be weird, that movie. Like, it was, what's it called?
I wonder if it holds up.
definitely holds
What's
up.
the
It's
Zohan movie
amazing.
called? Don't mess with the Zohan. Don't mess with the Zohan. In case you listeners haven't watched the movie, it's a movie where he's like an Israeli commando and he like
Turned hairstylist.
and he also turns out
I
a
want
bunch
to
of
cut
like old
hair.
ladies.
I want to cut hair.
Right, but he turns out the old ladies, and it's a little off-putting for me because I
turns
found that
out. I
It's
like
like a
that.
modern day Shampoo. Did you ever see Shampoo with Dick Tracy? What's his name?
Oh, Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
Where he plays like a guy who's a hairdresser.
I never saw
I
that.
should have got into hairdressing.
What about Hairspray?
Hairspray.
The movie
That's
Hairspray?
a whole other.
Joe loves Ricky Lake.
I do.
Jerked off to
Yeah.
Ricky Lake.
Yeah.
Used to have a big
mean,
poster in his room.
I'm
and
into
everything.
big broads too.
Joe used to have a poster of Ricky Lake in his room growing up.
Her and right next to Michael Jordan.
the Mount Rushmore of Joe's Mount Rushmore.
I love that big broad.
Oh god.
Well, anyway, don't we have a guest tonight? We got another
We
guest.
actually have
guest.
a guest.
We got a guest.
We have a
It's
guest
crazy.
that brought a guest, and his guest brought another guest.
Oh, now it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
This is officially a gay orgy.
I
now.
know.
All right.
Why do you got to go there?
Well, I'm
we
just saying.
we have female. You need to show a little more
We
respect
had
to
one
our female listeners. All right.
We had one female in here. We got to get more. Yeah. And the whole time we talked about porn. The fucking intro is all about porn. The one female we have.
Respectfully, though, it was respectfully, right, Casey?
You're an animal.
I will say, yeah, it wasn't pro porn.
Look, I'm the
it
dominant
was
male in this
classy.
room, and I'm telling you right
It was
now,
classy.
it was classy.
We're a bunch of classy bitches. Well, anyway,
See,
let's
you
bring down
can't
a
use
guest.
that word. Women
Oh,
don't
broads?
like that. Yeah, no. I think they like to be called the ladies, like that. You got to say the ladies or
ladies.
them females. They love when they're called female.
All right.
right, Casey?
I'll
Yeah,
start-
no
I'll start
cap.
doing it.
No
Wait,
cap.
I like the way you were purring. Kind of like Nala in the Lion King.
Female. Oh, come on, Joe.
All right, let's bring down our guest.
Oh, what was that?
Dude, I think he broke a leg.
Oh, my
Literally
God.
and figuratively. Marinos.
Hey guys, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, thanks for having me on.
Marinos, welcome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. A couple of guys spoke very highly of you. We were excited to get you on. And I thank you for waiting in that shitty green room upstairs. That thing's terrible. I tried to talk them out of the cage, but they're just...
It's just a green room
Old
with
school.
one chair and a cigar store Indian.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah, Native American.
Yeah. Oh, please.
So, Marinos, how we doing, brother? How we
Good.
doing tonight?
Good, everything's going well.
Awesome. Awesome. So usually what we like to do is just have you introduce yourself to the audience, kind of give us a little background about you, where you're from, what your family life was like growing up.
Yeah, who you with, dog? What's up? Well, you don't be capping either. Who you with?
Listen, I'm sorry.
That accent's got to go.
Justin's out there dating 22-year-old boys, and they got all different
The
lingo
girl.
now. So, sorry. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure, so I'm 51. I grew up on Long Island, mostly Nassau County, the eldest of three. Still live in Nassau now, and parents divorced, siblings out of state, but work in finance, and been here for a while. You know, heard
wow.
about your program, and it's exciting stuff.
You got a good radio voice too,
Yeah,
right?
like-
Doesn't he?
yeah.
Sounds like Marinos, and this is 9:46 in the morning, and welcome to WKRKRC Lightning Radio.
Nothing like that.
A little bit.
I don't hear it.
Ray Romano.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. So what was your childhood like? I mean, did you have your siblings older, the brothers, sister, younger than you? What?
I had a narcissistic father who was very abusive, wanted to prove to the world what he was, became successful. I was the eldest of three. So I saw my mother being the best as she could be, my father being pretty evil and stuff. I mean, he was sick and suffering like we all are. I defended my mother, and he hated me for that. So I used to go to his businesses with him and stuff like that, visitation on the weekends. He'd always try and brainwash me. But I saw a woman, that was doing her best to raise some kids. My siblings, I figured I'd take the heat, take the hits.
You the older brother?
Yeah.
Oldest.
Yeah. And he didn't like me for that. So my parents got divorced. But I remember since I was a child, the power of doing service. Whenever they asked for help or something like that, it got me out of my head. So I developed anxiety and depression at a young age. But whenever I was helping someone or anything like that, it always meant the world to them. It made me feel better. So as I got older and through trials and tribulations, you kind of learn about working with other people and how you can help them and stuff like that. But the ability to be present and to be there, even if you can't solve the problems, that's something I was always excited about my whole life. I was going to go into mental health, psychologist, but I got grabbed by a friend's father in finance. It was a lot like the movies, except none of the legal stuff. Substances came into my life.
I hear that a lot with finance. Substances,
course.
big time in that. Yeah.
Instant gratification.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah. So it led to a lot of other things. And, I had to become the most shattered version of myself. I died almost 3 years ago, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah, with substances, drugs, things like that. Anxiety, depression got worse. But it just brought me to a place where the pain of change was less than the pain of staying the same.
I want to hear. That's amazing. But how'd you get there? Like your childhood. This is insane to me. Like the story. It's like a Hollywood movie. Like you get a stick up for your mom, and you got a narcissistic dad, and was he an alcoholic?
No, actually, he wasn't. Narcissists are interesting. They exhibit the same signs as an alcoholic or an addict without the substances. It's all ego, all about them. They want more of everything. Self-seeking, self-centered. You do what they want, they love you. If you don't do what they want, they hate you.
And this is a real diagnosed narcissist, or you're?
Yeah.
Man, wow.
Yeah. The police were at our house frequently. It was in the New York Post. I was in the Seaford Police Department there when they arrested him, trying to kidnap us from school.
From Seaford, okay.
Yeah, it was a bad divorce. It's in the 80s. This is before domestic violence officers.
Oh, right. So you were born in 1970?
1870. No, 1974.
1974,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. You're the oldest of three, right?
Yeah.
So how much younger are your siblings?
My brother's a year younger. My sister's 5 from me. So
Okay.
we were all pretty close.
Sure.
You know,
I mean, when did you realize this stuff, though? Like, your narcissistic father, you could say that now, you're older, but how was growing up at first? Were things good, and then all of a sudden you started to see certain things happening and putting things together, or was it just fine until you got older?
actually, it was a couple of years ago that my mother told me, and she showed me some pictures since I was an infant and on. I'm 51 now. She goes, "You were insanely happy as a child. You were insanely happy as a kid." And then I started looking at pictures at 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 20 plus. And I saw that I had this fake smile at 8, 10, 12, school pictures and whatnot. So I think my earliest memories, I just remember it was like fight or flight, live or die. We had the priest come in to ward the house of evil spirits.
What?
This is real Greek Orthodox. My mother was willing to do anything for us to get better or be
So this
safe.
is when your dad was still living with you, or after the divorce?
Yeah, he was not home a lot. He cheated. He was out doing whatever he was doing.
So your mom brought in a priest, like almost to like perform an exorcism on the house?
Kind of like that, because we were desperate. We wanted, we were in bed. We were all children, right?
Because I believe in this stuff. That's a mix. So like 100%. I believe in evil spirits. I believe in demons. I believe in all. I've seen it when I was going through detoxes. Like I've seen them. People say they're hallucinations. I know what I saw. So I totally believe this. So wow, this is amazing. So they brought a priest in, and what did they do? What did the priest do?
He went with his incense, those metal things he has in every room. Tried to bless the rooms.
Sage.
I'm not even sure what it was.
Probably sage, yeah.
Something like that. But every room chanting all these, old school Greek vernacular. I barely even understand. Actually, I don't understand. Not at all.
Crazy.
That's crazy, right?
So your earliest memories, things were already not too good.
From the earliest, yeah.
Yeah.
We were in bed that one time and we were praying to God, hoping that he would get better, that we wouldn't die. And I had this crazy, and I remember this like it was yesterday, this crazy concept, like Star Wars had just come out. I thought maybe I might have been like Luke Skywalker and be able to turn my father from the dark side back to good.
Oh,
That's just like a kid's thinking. That's crazy.
Lost decades hoping for that.
Yeah. You wanted to turn him into back to
of course.
Anakin.
Yeah, something positive.
Yeah.
Because I saw with my mother, I saw what love was, that she cared and did all these wonderful things. So some people always told me when they hear my story in the past, like, "Oh, I'm sorry you went through that." I'm like, no, we're exactly where we need to be in this world.
That's right.
So I saw my father, one polar opposite, and learn what not to do. But I realized, again, he was sick and suffering in his own way.
Sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was just trying to do something better in the world. He didn't know better. When he didn't get his way, he got all upset, like addiction to some extent.
Yeah.
100%. And you had a mother that loved you unconditionally.
To this day.
And she's still okay. Great, that's awesome. And your dad is still around too.
We haven't spoken in 20 plus years. I think I'd look him up to see if he's still alive. I hope he's well. I pray for him. I hope he's happy.
You ever look up? What do you look on social media to see if he's there?
He's blocked everyone. He still runs a crazy life, so he doesn't want to have connection.
Yeah.
So, but I hope he's well. I think he's out east somewhere.
So, so let's get back to your childhood, though.
Wait,
so,
but hold on a second. How old were you when this happened? What you're talking about with the priest coming over, you praying, you having that thing and wanted to cure your father? Like, how old were you doing that?
I was probably 8 then, but the problems happened well before then.
But at 8 years old, that's like a big memory for you.
One of my strongest.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. And then from there, when did he actually leave? When did your mom and dad get divorced?
They almost got divorced in around 1986. And then he convinced her that he was a changed man. He got better. He loves her. Let's sell the house. Let's start over, move from Espequa to Woodbury. My mother asked us, what do you think? She wanted us to be happy. We said, I don't know. We were kids. What do we know?
Yeah, of course. How old are you?
I was 12, 13.
Yeah. Okay.
So the exorcism thing was at 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this was at 12. Okay, well, so that's a big gap in between. So there's a lot must have went down for them 8 to 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the police were over frequently. He would break everything in the house. Friends would come over. And I remember we couldn't let them see in the house because they would see statues, everything broken, etc. So we always went to our friends' houses to play, stuff like that. He threatened relatives not to come over, friends. So we had no friendships, none of that. We always had to go elsewhere. He was very controlling. That's just what narcissists do, you know?
And he was successful, though, financially?
Yeah, very. He built a small size empire for himself.
There's
of
a
businesses.
huge advantage in the business world, when you don't have any caring. You don't care for anyone else. You could step on someone's face to achieve what you'd want. I mean, that's a huge advantage. What's it? A conscience? You don't have a conscience, basically. Yeah, isn't that what narcissism is?
Yeah, but I think more often than not, it tends to bite you. You know, you want more. Like
Absolutely.
People want pain or pleasure. I work in finance, so. Yeah, from what I've seen in my life, in this, it's not love that's the most motivational force. It's pain or pleasure, fear or greed.
Wow.
People want a lot more of anything, a lot less of something. So he just wanted more, destroyed things. The worse his ego got, his fears, like all of us to some extent, and blew it up.
That's what they say in the simplest form. We're either chasing pleasure or trying to avoid pain.
Like when you watch The Lion King and jerk off to Nala, the female lion.
I was a pleasure seeker. I'm the first one to admit it. But so during that time, though, you're the older brother. I'm sure you felt this protective need to protect your brother and sister from that. Were you guys really close?
Yeah. But I mean, every other weekend, my father would pick us up for visitation, and he always tried to brainwash me, to convince me. He would ask me crazy, insane questions like, "Who do you love more?" And I didn't want to answer that. Your mother or me? And I'm like, "I love you both." And he pushes me. Okay, I love mom more. Why? Because she takes care of us, cooks, does all these things. Who gave her that money to ask me? Just insane thinking.
Yeah.
But somehow, somewhere deep inside, I still wanted to love the man, and I wanted his love. Like, when I talk to
dad.
Yeah, when I talk to people, sometimes I tell them, if somebody grows up with spoiled milk, that's what they know love to be. So they're going to look for that in their relationships as adults. So again, I was lucky that I had both polar opposites of parents, and that helped. But it got worse, and then they finally got divorced in 1989, and then we were almost left on the street, and, my mother met someone who took us in and really looked out for us.
Wait, how'd that happen, though? Like, usually in New York, if you get divorced, the wife and the mother gets alimony and child support and half of the house. And all that. So how were you almost homeless?
He siphoned everything. He refinanced, took equity, took capital, moved it to partners' names, etc. So in 1989, we've actually found my mother during recession found someone to buy the house for $750. That house now would be $2 to $3 million, let's say. This is going back to 1989.
Yeah.
So she found a buyer. They were supposed to go to the closing table. The judge says, "All right, you're going to show up. You're going to sign. Your wife gets this amount, etc." He didn't show up. Let the house go into foreclosure. So it was very different back then, very different. But
I mean, I was 9 years old, and it's tough for me to have real memories of the financial world back then. Yeah,
even with the domestic violence, once O.J. Simpson occurred, that changed everything with law enforcement. Domestic violence officers training everything else.
Really?
Yes. The years after that changed everything. You hear about somebody getting into a fight right now with
what was
a
that,
boyfriend.
93?
I think around there.
Yeah, they're taking one of them to jail, right?
Yeah.
They're taking one of them to jail now. We have to. So how old were you when that happened? When they totally split the house, 1989. What is that age-wise?
Age-wise, I was 15.
All this is going on in your life, right? And before we even get into your first drink and what led you to drugs and alcohol, How did you keep your mind right? Being the older brother, was it your mother? Like, what kind of influences did you have while all this chaos was going on to keep your head kind of straight, be there for your family, your mom, your brother and sister, and just for yourself to not go insane?
Great question. I was maybe 14, 15 around that time. I started working when I was 13, though. I wanted to get out of the house, and make money so my family, my future would never have to go through what I went through. And I was a kid, and I don't know how, a little bit younger, 10, 12, I came up with this idea, and I said, Marinos from the future would know what to do. But I was, somewhat mature enough to say that's never going to happen.
That's fucking sick.
And I was a Star Trek fan, a Trekkie. I knew there was no alternate universe. They're not bringing me there. So I came up with the next best thing. I said, I'm going to make a board of directors panel in my head. And I'm going to pick real and fictional people that I respect. Captain Kirk. I'm just making something up. Spock. My mother, my stepfather. People that I idolized. Teddy Roosevelt. And anytime in any situation, I would ask myself, how would these people respond? So that was one thing that kind of guided me. Computer games at first, but I started working. And I just, it was hard. In school, I didn't want to socialize. I did my classes. I went to work. Isolated a lot, had difficulty with friendships, socialization.
Your imagination was like a coping device.
It was, Star Trek was something for me that worked because it portrayed humanity in a positive lens. The future, people got along, something realistic, somewhat theoretical, not like Star Wars as an example, which I love also, right? But completely made up. There was hope. So I was constantly studying with Jehovah's Witnesses. I asked friends that had different religions, cultures. I was spending a large part of my time trying to get connected to God. I just felt like he wasn't listening. That increased propensity for a billion other forms of fear. And as I got older, the anxiety and depression really kicked in, and then it was just a downward spiral for 30 years.
So it didn't kick in when you were younger. That committee in your head you created, a good committee. Like we talk about it now, like don't fuck listen to the committee in your head. But back then it was like a good defense mechanism.
Yeah.
So at what point did that stop and the anxiety started?
The anxiety was always there. When I was in my mid-20s, I went into finance, became a broker. I worked really hard. I always had a good work ethic, my family, seeing other people. And I knew if you wanted to get ahead in life, you had to be willing to do what other people weren't to do. And I saw a bunch of guys in finance, loud, obnoxious, and that's not the way I was raised with my mother. So I was persistent, on point, respectful, but I put the hours in. And I realized, hey, if these other guys can do it, and they're being obnoxious or whatnot, like the movies to an extent, I'll just be kind and considerate. And I had some success. I started smoking weed when I was 24, a year into the business. And that was the first moment of my life that I just felt alive. I never felt...
From weed?
I never felt normal up until that moment. And I said, Mary Jane and I were never getting divorced.
So did you drink before then or do any other drugs? Or it was just weed?
Some alcohol, but I hated it. Even to this day, even until I got sober, I always hated alcohol. But weed, I felt connected. I felt alive.
Yeah.
And then a couple years later, cocaine, shrooms, some other things came into picture. And then psychotropic meds, antidepressants, some benzos. That was the beginning of the medicine career. And I've probably been on 50 to 80 different meds in my entire life, up until 3 years
Prescription
ago.
meds that were prescribed to you by doctors?
Yes. 4, 5, 6, 7 different diagnoses.
Now, why did what was the reason for prescribing you all these?
Not at once, but over time.
It was like antipsychotic drugs?
Well, they were trying to diagnose you, right? And kind of go through and see what would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just throw, while they're trying to diagnose you, they just keep throwing drugs down your throat?
Over decades, yeah.
Yeah. And you got to think about, what year is this? What years?
24. I mean, you're talking about 1999, around that age, 98, that time frame. Started with Prozac, this, that. And then as anxiety got worse, life became more difficult. And I went to therapy for decades. I was that guy who I thought was open-minded. I journaled, I went to therapy, I talked about it, CBT, all that, walking, exercise.
What'd you say, CBT?
Cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay.
I was looking to become a psychologist until I went into finance, but I always liked the way the mind worked.
Right.
I liked helping people. I figured the more I understand the psychology of people, the more I can advocate.
Yeah,
but as time went by, you're talking antidepressants, you're talking mood stabilizers, you're talking benzos.
Oh, it's too much.
Oh my God, it's crazy. But all right, so wait, let's go back because that's all interesting. I definitely want to get to that. So you said you were 22 when you first smoked weed?
23, 24.
23, 24, okay. Yeah. And you were dealing with anxiety. You said it started heightening more and more. And then when you got into the financial industry, that's when you found weed.
Yeah.
Did you find it immediately help your anxiety at first and then progressively make it worse later? Or you were just feeling like that I have arrived feeling where it was like I've been looking for this my whole life?
The latter, but I wasn't cognizant that my anxiety was that bad at that time.
Okay.
When life is good, you don't worry about things as much, right?
Right.
You feel good, you're riding that high, money's good, life is good, the girlfriend, the car, the place, friends.
Success will cover up all that. Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
right. Yeah. So all the external stuff was there.
At that point,
At
yes.
that point, yeah. So you're partying, you're making a lot of money. When do you start accelerating to other drugs like the coke and all that stuff? Quickly after weed?
2 to 3 years later.
And then
I was 24 with weed. My first rehab was at 32. A
Damn.
ton of cocaine.
24.
I tried shrooms. I experimented a little bit. Everything felt good at first. But weed was the one that I loved. I was loyal to it. Weddings, funerals, vacations. I wouldn't go on vacation.
That was your baseline drug. Like for me, it was alcohol.
Yeah.
Joe was pretty much everything.
garbage.
Yeah.
See, I would
Garbage can.
drink. That's good you said. I would drink on occasion. And
Yeah.
at times I would get a little blasted.
Yeah.
But I just atoned that to a long night, had fun. I shouldn't mix weed and alcohol. I did
Sure.
not like the taste of alcohol. If it was there, I used it and
Right.
enhanced it. I could never moderate or balance it.
So
Ever.
weed was your thing. You just
Yeah.
adopted other stuff as you started partying more.
Yeah.
And what was that first rehab trip like? What led to that first rehab stint?
My siblings were in my industry as well.
Okay.
And it was around 2004 or 5. Everything was like the good old days, like the Great Gatsby days in the movie.
Sure.
Okay, for
Sure.
us, that
Yeah.
industry, the economy, everything. So a bunch of us from the firm were going out partying, etc., buying houses, things like that, moving up and there in the world. But then, my siblings didn't have as much of a problem with it. My sister had portion control. It was just recreational.
What,
My
with the weed?
with cocaine.
Oh, with cocaine. Okay.
Yeah, so then he got a little out of control. He came into the business. He was wild and aggressive. He didn't have a moral compass that pointed north. I'm not knocking him when I say that. He was just,
No, it's just I get it. Honestly, where
then-
was that?
for me, it was out of control. It was getting an 8 ball by 4 o'clock at the close. At 2, 3 in the morning, another 8 ball. Couple Xanny bars, and at 5, 6 in the morning, praying my family wouldn't find me dead, and swearing I would never do this again if God gave me another chance.
When the coke wore off,
It was horrible.
it's the worst feeling in the world. I don't know how you did it without alcohol. Like when
Well, that's why I was using
it's the
Xanax
worst.
half the
Yeah.
time.
So at the end of the night, it was a case of Heineken. It was weed.
Right,
It
yeah.
was Xanax.
Got to come
and
down.
Yeah.
The crash didn't make it better. The heart at 140 beats per minute
Yeah.
at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and the other part about that is because I worked in sales for a while, boiler room sales is once you start doing that and living that lifestyle, then it's almost like you need it right away, even if you're not physically addicted to it yet, because you think that makes you Superman, that
Right.
makes you better on the phone, that makes you better at
Yeah.
everything, and you just start. That's my medicine. That is literally my medicine. It's like sports performance at that point.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
to a point, it kind of is
Oh,
a
yeah.
performance-enhancing drug, cocaine, in a lot of aspects. It can be, but it's just a matter of when does it stop and become, killing you.
I mean, look at the subculture now. It's Adderall, it's C4 drinks, energy drinks, performance enhanced, like you're saying.
yeah.
yeah.
How do I tune myself enough that I can perform at peak efficiency? I just went overboard. I could not handle portion control.
Right.
So that led you to your first rehab. Was it like a hard crash, or did your boss pull you aside or something and be like, "Yo, bro, you got to go get some help and come back"?
No, it actually turned out with one of my bosses being at my house. Friday, I go out to get something. I come home. Family's cars are in my driveway. My boss's car's in the driveway. I'm like, oh shit,
I'm getting a promotion.
this smells, reeks, and sounds like an intervention, guys. Get me the hell out.
You felt it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
And I
funny.
mean, I lost a ridiculous amount of weight within 6 months, and my life fell apart in a year. I was angry. I knew that I was going to hell. I kicked everyone out of my life. I isolated. They knew. They had an intervention.
What do you mean you knew you were going to hell?
I just was so angry at the world. I just knew I was going to a very, very dark place. I knew my life was finite. I knew that this wasn't going to go on much longer. I didn't necessarily want to kill myself, but at times I got so angry with the mood swings, I just knew that this wasn't sustainable. So they showed up my house, had an intervention. Work says, we have your back. Go get help. I go get help. My mother stays at my house the night before. It was the night before Thanksgiving. And my first rehab, but what's on TV? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. So I'm laughing at this. I'm like, Mom, there's going to be an Indian guy. We're going to rip up in the sink. We're going to go for joyrides. We're going to have a blast.
So funny. That's my first rehab.
Exactly.
I swear to you, exact same movie. The night before I went in, and I was
Such a great
talking with
movie.
my dad. I'm like, so Dad, this is what it's going to be. I was all amped up because I was drunk.
Yeah.
I was all amped up. I'm like, this is going to be fun. We're having adventures. I'm going to meet an Indian guy. I swear, this is so insane that you just said that. We were talking about Nurse Ratched. My dad's just staring at me like, get this fucking bastard out of my house as soon as possible. I cannot stand him.
That is going to be great.
It's gonna
First
be great.
rehab.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for years.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, do you think I could bring my juicer with me? Do you think they'll let me keep it in my room? I remember saying that.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, you fucking mind.
I know.
So what year is this you head into your first rehab?
This was 2006.
2000. And were you resistant to it in the least bit, or you were kind of like, all right, thank God the jig is up. I needed this.
It was both. I mean, when I knew work was okay and they understood me going away for a month, I mean, I just always wanted my work. I love what I do. I was fearful it took a lot of work to get into my career. Licenses, clientele that take years, if not decades, to build. But then no, they had a guy come from Marworth, Pennsylvania. I had party favors with me. I had him stop at pit stops every 20 minutes. So by the time I got to Marworth, heart's at 180 beats per minute.
Yep.
And I'm thinking they don't know that I'm high.
Yeah.
The
No,
last
they
big
won't
hurrah.
accept you unless you are high.
Exactly.
You were perfect.
That's so funny.
You were exactly
Is
where you
it-
needed to be.
This is amazing.
We'll take 'em.
Exactly the same thing on my ride to my first rehab. I brought my stuff with me. The driver, Steve, he awesome dude. He was like, he knew like what I was doing. He's like, all right, so before we get there, you got to throw everything out the window because they're not going to let you in with that stuff. Like he didn't care. Like he just wanted to, like he didn't want to scare me away, from getting out of the car. Like get me in the rehab was the main goal. So he let me kind of use and do what I had to do in the 7-Elevens. Like if we stopped at 7-Eleven, I chug beers.
Whatever
in the
it takes to
bathroom.
get you there.
Right.
What's funny though is that if somebody gets themselves a day or two and is struggling and they want to go in there, they make them get fucked up to go in there. Like
I know.
that's like, what are you doing?
I know.
What
You
are
gotta have
fucking
they
doing?
make you have like a blood alcohol level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but check the guy out. He's obviously fucking withdrawing. He's
Right.
obviously an addict of
Right.
alcohol.
I love the
Just
idea.
Get him help.
I love the idea of them
course.
telling me I had to have a blood alcohol
Yeah,
level.
but most people don't even know that.
Right. And I took it to the next level. Like I didn't, when I
of
entered my
course.
first rehab, I had
you're
my blood alcohol
toasty.
level. When I blew into the thing at Seafield, it was 0.42.
Oh, Jesus.
Not 0.042, 0.42. Okay. That is an insane, that is deadly.
Yeah.
Deadly. And they're like, how are you even conscious? Like, how are you walking? Like an insane, blood alcohol. I'm like, I guess, I have a high tolerance. High tolerance? Do you understand what 0.42 is?
They say 0.4 turns you gay. Now we know. Now we know what happened, Casey. Now we know exactly what happened.
Casey, is this true?
I'll have to Google that.
Google it. Google it. No, so
I'm gonna
anyway,
fact check.
so your first stint, 2006. You go in there, right? What was that like? Were you open minded? Were you listening, or you were just like, fucking, just get me out of here, get me through the motion, so I could go back, use safely. I got to get back to work. Like, where was your head at?
I was in a detox room for 3 days with a detox pillow, sheets, all that. I woke up, and I didn't sleep at all. I woke up in 5 seconds, heard myself snoring, and just it was ridiculous.
Sure.
I asked for milk, Benadryl, anything that I was allowed to have to sleep. And then they wanted me go into the rooms, dormitory and all that. And I said, listen, I haven't slept in 3 days. I said, my work is cool with me being here for a month. I'm all in. I need at least an hour or two of sleep. Said, just don't give me a therapist that looks like my father, a female. That's all I asked. Seriously. That was the only demand I had. It's just a little sleep.
great.
They gave me some male therapist, looks just like my father.
Oh, God.
And
That's so fucked up.
Wait a minute. That's the only thing you asked.
only thing.
And that's the first thing they did.
I'm sorry to laugh, but that's funny.
How are they supposed to know what your father looks like anyway?
I told them before
just
during
give me a
intake,
woman.
just give me a female therapist. I have male issues. That's it.
Yeah.
They were probably like, this pervert wants to fuck one of our therapists. Give him a male.
Yeah.
Exactly. I got bamboozled.
Yeah. He's asking for a woman. I know why.
Let me get a female therapist. Nice slim waist, little busty, little junk in the trunk.
Yeah. Like someone that looks like they're dressing up for Halloween as a therapist. I want something like that.
Have you ever seen the cartoon Betty Boop?
Jose Perez.
Yeah. Or the Lion King. So
Full circle.
so basically, you're in there, you're doing your best. They give you this male therapist. What was that like? Like, how did you get past that and just talk to them like a therapist and not bring you past into that? Or did you? Like, how was that?
I was only there for 3 or 4 days. I mean, when they put me in the dormitories, I couldn't sleep. I'm like, listen, you want me to do 12 hours of meetings? I'm all in. I can't function. I'm getting drug dreams. I haven't slept. My whole life, the drug dreams of coke were the worst for me, at least.
Yeah.
So you weren't sleeping, but you were getting like waking dreams, like hallucination type things?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fucked. I hate those.
So you're only there for 3 or 4 days. You're like, I got to get the fuck out of there.
At
They're
that
not
point,
helping
I'm
me.
like, how do I get out of here? And I'm asking people, and I made some friends, and like, don't leave. The 6 of them convincing me. I'm like, I'll check out AMA. You learn a couple of things. It's like, I don't want to go. Give me a female therapist, otherwise I'm out. I haven't slept. Just please give me one thing that will help me feel comfortable to get better.
They didn't.
No, they didn't care. So I called my family. They hated it. They picked me up, stayed with my brother for a month or two, until I was somewhat decent, at least.
Were you still going through, were you going through with physical withdrawals? Because it sounds like you were with these hallucinations and the not sleeping, at least to a level.
To me, at least back then, from the little I had experienced in the world of drugs and narcotics and whatever, I mean, it was intense for me back then. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I deleted all my contacts when these were the days of flip phones, mind you now.
Yeah.
But I had memorized my cousin's first 5-6 digits, so I pull up my cell phone bill to try and find his number. I'm stuck at my brother's house. I can't leave. The plotting and the scheming, it's worse than burning Madoff or anyone else.
Because you wanted coke?
Yeah. I wanted a wife. That's all I thought about. I was like, wait till my brother and his wife go to sleep. I'll hang out, make a phone call, walk to the payphone, anything. And this was in Dix Hills. This wasn't like in Queens, Nassau County.
I lived in Dix Hills for a few years.
So,
I was ambitious. I was going to walk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it fully. That's
so what year is this?
This was
2006 still.
2007.
So what was, all right, so that's the first rehab. And right now your anxiety and stuff like that is still kind of under control, right? You're just dealing with
this is bad now because they didn't want Xanax. I started outpatient, started therapy, all that. They didn't want Xanax. They didn't want this. So now I'm dealing with all these meds, which I've tried, but I was dependent on Xanax and benzos in addition to anything else they wanted to give me.
So you're already getting this stuff from your doctor for your anxiety before you even go to the rehab, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in the rehab. You can't do any of that. You're back out now. You're back doing coke, right?
A couple of times I had stopped. I just saw how badly things were going to get out of control. I'm not sure how. I tried to go to a couple of A meetings. I didn't continue. And when I speak at hospitals, wherever, I always tell people, if you don't, in anything in life, if you don't know what the problem is, like real problem solving, you're never going to appreciate the damn solution.
That's a great one.
So I didn't know enough about the disease, the physical cravings, all mind-altering substances. So I said, all right, the weed is from the grass, the Xanax is from my doctor. It's just, cocaine I have a problem with. I should probably avoid alcohol.
Well, cocaine's from a plant too. It's natural, right?
Exactly.
So you're trying to stop the coke. The pills, the weed, everything else, again, that's just kind of like maintenance and to keep you level because you're trying to have a solution for anxiety. And right now, you don't believe like in the whole addiction, alcoholism, anything like that you have to be totally abstinent. Cocaine is the major problem. You're just trying to stay away from that.
Yeah, and that's how I felt. And my life fell apart so quickly that with drugs later on, that was a slow play with them. So somehow I got it in my head like this is playing with fire. Everyone knows what I'm doing. My family, my employer knows. Somehow I kind of wandered away from it, but the drinking with alcohol came into play. Xanax increased. I didn't have Xanax as much per se, and it was just a rough time. Now I'm adjusting to everything without God, without recovery, trying to do it on my own willpower, self-propulsion.
And you were on what are these zootropics? You said?
Oh, they had me on what's it called? Mood stabilizers, SSRIs, antidepressants, Xanax, things like that.
And when did they put you on that though? How old were you when they put you on that?
26, 27.
So 26 to 27, you started. You're doing this, and then at 30, you go to the first rehab, and then you come out of there. And now from 2006 to when? When's the next time? Because now you're kind of hitting it hard again, right? You're kind of running after it, hitting it hard. You're making money. Everybody knows what's going on, but there's no stopping, right? You said you went to a couple of meetings, but not really. You haven't gone back to rehab yet, right? There was that one little stint, and now you're just flying. So how long is this little period? Is it 2006 to 2008?
This was 2008. The economy crashed. A lot of people losing houses, their jobs, whatever. And again, I wasn't in a good space. The anxiety was bad. Alcohol came into play, and I just, it got so bad, the anxiety, the depression now really kicked in. And I just left work early. I took a couple bottles of pills, hundreds of them, alcohol, and I called my family and said, listen, I don't want to die, but I can't do this. And I got frustrated with the medical system because I had an outpatient in North Shore that kicked me out one time. And they said, listen, you need a higher level of care. We can't help you with your anxiety. I'm like, all right, where do I go? Like, I don't know, leave, because we can't help you. So I was getting frustrated. Like,
that's fucking horrible advice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Get the hell out of here, though.
You got the doctors dispensing meds. None of them were working. You got me going outpatient again, therapy, trying to get better. So I tried to kill myself, and I wound up in Brunswick 2 times there. And that was a whole different level.
How'd you try to kill yourself?
Hundreds of pills, alcohol. And I just thought something might do it. But right after I took it, I called my family. I told them what I did. I said, I give up. I need help. I don't know what to do.
And this is after you downed like 100 pills?
Hundreds, yeah.
Of what?
Everything I had collected for 6 months.
And you drank alcohol, which you
The whole
At that
bottle.
point, you didn't even have a tolerance towards alcohol.
Not so much, no.
Yeah.
So this is basically like your last phone call, right?
Basically.
And you're in Brunswick right now.
Yeah.
What are you doing out there?
Brunswick. I lived in Lyndhurst at the time. So the ambulance brought me there. Worst place on the planet. No therapy, no meetings, nothing.
What's Brunswick?
That's like a detox shelter in Amityville. I don't know if it's around, but they don't do any meetings, any recovery work. Everyone chases the psychiatrist when it's time to get your meds.
Like Cuckoo's Nest, like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
Yes,
Nest.
exactly.
So you got your dream.
Exactly.
It happened.
Exactly.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
And if you take your meds and you make your bed, you get to have cigarette breaks. So my family hated me. You chose that place because you get to have cigarette breaks. I'm like, one miracle at a time, guys.
Yeah.
One miracle
Yeah,
at a
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Right? Because cigarettes.
So this is 2008.
Yeah.
How long were you in there for? Like, did you complete the program in there?
Almost. I don't think they had a month-long program. Maybe 2 weeks. And then
And what did they just like assess you, analyze you, and be like, all right, he's ready to go home? Or did they send you to another facility?
No, they kept me there. And again, they didn't have anything for getting better other than taking your meds with the shrink.
Yeah,
So
of course.
the psychiatrist came up to me one time and she talked with me and asked me a number of things. And she goes, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. She goes, in her words, not mine, you're very high functioning. You don't belong here. But if you like helping your family, helping others, selfish shouldn't mean greedy, it should mean self-care first. So the better you take care of yourself, the more you could do to help others. So I convinced them eventually to let me go because I was going to lose my job, my career, my clients.
And you're a good talker. You're charismatic. I'm sure you've talked your way out of a lot of trouble before. I was that way too. It's harder for people to see that you really need help sometimes, and they're easily convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, I think, worse off.
Oh,
when
definitely.
you're you said highly functioning, they call it highly functioning drug addicts it's the most dangerous kind because, yeah, like Joe's saying, it's like, okay, yeah, he's probably not that bad, so it's okay. Meanwhile, you're killing yourself inside.
But also highly functioning as far as mental health, she was talking about as well too, right?
Yeah, I mean, because she understood it was anxiety and depression. I told her, I said, listen, I'm here. I want to get better. I could check out whenever I want, but I got to get back to work. It's been 2 weeks. You're not doing group. You're not doing therapy, nothing. So I'm ready to go back to work and continue with my therapist. I made it seem, which I was always compliant. I wanted to take advantage of every resource. So if something doesn't work or it's not getting better, the onus is on you. I spent my time. Let me out because life's not going to stop. But again, if you're not learning about the problem, you'll never appreciate the solution. So I thought that was the only solution, just some clean time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so did I. So did we all.
Yeah,
in the
and then
beginning, yeah.
and then when you get done with that, again, your doctors are still trying to figure out what the right prescription is for you. So you're just trying different meds at that point as well, right? It's not like you're just like those are bad.
absolutely.
It's like no, those are bad, but these are good.
I think CVS gave me Pez one time. I said, I think this is working better than the Abilify.
Yeah.
So it's proven that placebo effect works.
Well, first of all, Pez is absolutely delicious.
Of
It's
course.
one of the most
Absolutely.
delicious candies ever
Spot on.
made.
I love it. That plays absolutely. So 2008, you go in, you come back out, and now what's this like? Are you immediately ripping and roaring? Are you looking for another program? What's that look like in 2008 after you get out of that place?
If you guys remember the day that plane crashed in the Hudson, that was the day I got out of
Sully?
Sully.
Yeah, the
Sully
movie that was made with
Sullenberg?
Denzel.
Sully with Tom Cruise.
Yeah. What?
With Tom Cruise, Sully, right?
No, he was a real fucking guy. He saved a bunch of people.
Was it Tom Cruise?
No,
I'm gonna have to fact check that one.
his name's Sully. He
No,
landed
Tom
the plane-
Hanks. Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks.
Hanks
The
played
movie.
Sully.
Sully Sullenberg.
Yeah, he played him.
He's
in
a
a movie.
goddamn hero.
Yeah. So you want Tom Hanks to get the credit for that?
Yeah, a little bit. You know what? Fuck Tom
So anyway,
Hanks.
yeah, that's the movie comes out. Good. Sorry.
So yeah, my mother had me stay with her. She did what my brother did. And I'm very blessed and lucky that my family just really cared. I said, listen, we don't trust you. Want to make sure you get better. You stay with me, etc. And that's what I did. And this was 2008, almost 9. Stayed there for a couple months, went back home. Obviously,
Still have your job, right?
yeah,
Okay.
I avoided cocaine, obviously. I tried to avoid alcohol. The Xanax and the prescriptions got worse. The weed, I continued. And 2011, I met this amazing woman, fell madly in love. And, one thing I've learned is, we become codependent in addiction. And I see why the old timers say sometimes, don't, start dating for a while. Don't take any hostages, as I like to call them. And if I can look in the mirror and new into recovery and can't honestly say I love myself 100%, I have no goddamn business taking a hostage on. But when we replace the drug or alcohol with a body, we tend to find love elsewhere.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, I try to explain that to guys too, because I wasn't a perfect recovery person and taking all the suggestions, but you don't even know yourself yet. So it's like you haven't even got a chance to know yourself and accept yourself to get to a point to love yourself. Like it kind of happens in stages. You don't just love yourself. Like it takes work, right? And there's some things that I don't love about myself, but I've accepted.
Yeah.
You know, like, but if you're not there and you're not figuring out who you really are, how could you possibly find somebody that's supposed to be your partner for the rest of your life? You know, that's why like a half a person doesn't make sense to me. You need two wholes. Because that's how you don't build resentment and everybody's
I'm sure
healthy.
you do need two holes.
I need 4. I need 4. Get it just straight. No, but like you need to be fully equipped with understanding yourself completely, loving yourself, accepting yourself, in my opinion, before you start really looking for a partner.
But people don't, when you're in that delusional, crazy state of early recovery,
oh my God.
It's like you don't realize it, but you're fucking, I mean, me personally, I was out of my mind.
Yeah,
completely out of my mind.
I tried to tickle your butthole a couple of times in the sober house.
God, I blocked that out. Yeah, that was an awkward moment. Yeah.
Yeah. He was on Xanax too. No, so go ahead. I'm sorry about that. A little tangent. Never hurt nobody. Little tangent.
But yeah, so that was about 3 years later. I met this girl, and we fell madly in love. And you know, life had gotten a little bit better. You know, therapy continued that, and so forth. And you know, you fall in love, you meet the family, you have some good times, etc. But then the stresses of life come back into play.
That's right.
You know, we had proposed. You know, she was an amazing woman, loved me, my family, etc. An attorney, beautiful culture.
Oh, she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of law?
At the time, labor employment.
So boring.
He's done a couple of stints on law shows, right?
I played a lawyer on TV, and
That's right.
I litigated a few of my own cases.
Really?
Yeah, and won them.
Pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
On
It is.
constitutional basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've gotten myself out of plenty of traffic infractions and misdemeanors representing myself. Yeah.
he's basically a lawyer, like Tom Hanks. Fucking. You know,
I'm essentially a lawyer.
Yeah,
Well, all you can really,
he's essentially a lawyer.
the way I look at it, to be a lawyer, just know the Constitution. Know the Constitution.
That's
the
right.
rest is just old hat,
It's cake.
baby. It's all
What are you doing
right.
spending all that money to
It's all
fucking get
icing
a
on the
degree in
cake.
law, you loser?
Be charming. Let the
Read the
judge.
Constitution.
I just see Justin in my head pounding his fist in
Oh my
traffic
God.
court, yelling, "Objection!"
I wish.
No,
that I was a fly on the wall.
the
I
first
would
time
pay
I did
for
it,
that.
the first time I did represent myself, I learned a valuable lesson. Never tell the judge what the Constitution means, because they take that offensively, because they're supposed to know, like that's their job, is to know the Constitution. So if you explain to them the what the Constitution means and why it's there, and the interpretation of certain amendments, like they find that to be condescending. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Could
I
you
guess so,
imagine
yeah.
him fucking at traffic court trying to tell the judge what the Constitution is about? They're probably like, "Get the fuck out of here! Pay your
No,
ticket."
they
Pay
wanted
ticket.
They wanted to,
You were
but
parked in a loading zone.
no, they wanted to, but the fact that I was fucking right on everything pissed him off even more.
I can see that.
So basically, he's a lawyer. So you
Long story short, he's a lawyer.
I'm kind of a lawyer myself.
so you meet this beautiful woman, fall in love. She's a lawyer. Continue. So,
Yeah, no, it's fine. So, so it got bad. The alcohol came into play. You realize, at least in my career of using that, the illegal stuff you stay away from. All right, so alcohol is acceptable. You can have fun.
Right.
It's around family. You don't have to hide it, etc. and whatnot. And again, my whole life, I never liked the taste of any alcohol. Ever, never. It was the one thing I didn't like. Everything else I dabbled with, I did. But I wound up in one too many emergency rooms consistently in the middle of the night, waking up, handcuffed to a bed, asking the nurse, "Can I go to the bathroom?" She goes, "You have a tube in you." I'm like, "How'd that happen?" "Can I go to the bathroom? I'll take it out." She's like, "Are you going to act the way you did the other night?" I said, "I'm sorry."
I don't
tough
know.
one to hear.
I said, "I don't know who you're talking about. It wasn't me." She goes, "Stop. You were a complete raving lunatic."
Yeah.
and you're like, probably like you are now, like the nicest guy in the world usually, right? That had to come to a surprise to you when she was saying,
I apologized a million times. I said, I'll go up to everyone and apologize. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
sorry.
But
Because he's so nice, you could just tell.
Yeah.
Like,
But this
imagine
was
him
under
freaking out.
what were you under the influence when this happened?
alcohol, Xanax,
yeah.
weed.
So it's the alcohol that you
And-
didn't
and
have
the
the
Xanax
tolerance
that
to.
blacks you out.
Oh, the
Yeah.
alcohol and the Xanax.
Well,
No
he's
recollection.
He's on fucking Xanax and weed,
Yeah.
like, and not even thinking about it like we would. Like, he's
Yeah.
just taking it. I would pop Xanax just so I didn't have to drink so many beers. He's
Right,
not
I'd
even
use
thinking
Xanax
about that.
just so I could
Yeah,
stop, go to
yeah,
sleep
yeah.
for the first time in 3
I mean,
days.
correct me
yeah.
if I'm wrong, but are you even thinking about that, like to boost the high, or are you just taking your medication?
This,
Exactly.
This was all to just put myself to sleep ASAP. And to give an example, like when I would drink, it was Seagram 7. I hated the taste. My stepfather drank it. It was quick, easy poison. I would have 3 glasses like that. They were all
He's
filled.
pointing to a small glass. What do you call those things?
Brandy glass?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that.
Shot glass? No. Scotch glass? No. A glass.
It was on our wedding registry. I don't know.
Okay, there you go. So 3 of those, let's say, right, with 3 shots each neat. I would drink 9 shots. Okay, a small chaser, a little seltzer. I would throw down 9 more shots, smoke some weed, have another 9 more, another 9 more, and then I'd fall asleep within the hour.
Wait, time out. You just did 9 3 times.
3 to 4. I'm not bragging. Oh,
I'm not a mathematician here.
I think that's 27.
Joe's good with math.
I'm doing that. Yeah.
That's a lot of shots.
And all
I mean,
to
not
go
for
to
me,
bed.
but for the average person.
And
yeah.
you're not even on cocaine at this point.
No,
You're
no.
just trying to fucking get to bed.
That this is not to be functional and party.
No,
this is
no.
put myself out.
But it.
ASAP.
Self-medicating.
But why is that? Is because you're all revved up from work? Is it stress? Your anxiety? Like, are you about to ask to marry you? Like, what's going on at that time where you just need, besides your regular dose of Xanax and weed, you need to fucking drink yourself to sleep every night?
I couldn't handle life on life terms.
Yeah.
It was
That's it.
responsibilities, resentment, everything else, the bedevilments. I couldn't be of any real use to anyone. I just didn't recognize it at the time.
And did your resentments towards your father get stronger as you got older, not weaker?
In some ways, therapy helped somewhat. When I started AA in 2016, years after this, I wrote him up on my father and life, and 90% went away. That's where I saw the real power of AA.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying up until that point.
They didn't get worse,
Okay,
but I spent my whole life trying to be the opposite of him.
sure. So you've already put this like immense pressure on yourself
Yeah.
to do all these things and do everything right.
hmm
And now you're drinking yourself to sleep. And where are you at, like with this beautiful woman you met? And so, like, things are going good as far as she's concerned. Does she even know about this stuff? The fact that you're drinking yourself to sleep every
She's
night.
got to know.
She
right?
knew, but she saw it getting worse over 4 years. And then her family saw me not coming around for the birthday parties, this, that. Marinos is always over. We love him. He loves us. Where is he? She got tired of making excuses. She got tired of me not showing up. The wedding is now 6 months away. And she warned me, and I have no recollection of this. My family friends told me, she kept telling you this. We told you this. But she
You were
said,
blacked out.
not this just one night. She says, if you wake up in an ER one more time, I'm
God
calling
damn.
off the wedding. And I have no recollection of this, or I didn't want to hear it under the stupor I was in.
Okay, so how long were you with her, and how many ER trips did you take in that time?
If I had to take a guess, I was with her for about almost 3.5, 4 years.
Okay.
At the end, it must have been 3, 4, 5 ER trips, but there were, just a lot of blackouts before then.
Sure.
Or
So-
coming to my house and being messed up and yelling at her, going back to sleep, stuff like that.
Not remembering it.
Now remember, you're a totally different human.
Well, that was the worst thing for me. It wasn't the drinking and driving per se. It was looking at the text messages and the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Marinos.
This
What
is
I said
where-
out. Oh, my
This
God.
is, see,
Text messages.
when you
too.
said earlier,
That's rough.
your mom brought in the priest for the exorcism of the house. Like this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. I believe that blackouts. I believe that we are actually taken over by a spirit. I mean, I think that's probably why they call alcohol spirits. We are taken over by demons. Like we are being possessed. Now we could still be there a little bit inside. Part of us is still there, but I think overall we're being taken over. And when we black out, it's not us. And that's why you said the nurses were calling you this crazy, mean, bad asshole, but that's not who you are.
Normally, no. Yeah.
Right, because that wasn't really you. Now you allowed that the demons inside of you by opening up this gateway by drinking. But yeah, I truly believe this. You guys are laughing at me. They're smirking.
I'm laughing
I believe
because
that
when
you get
say
possessed. Yeah.
You let the demon inside of us. All I'm thinking about is Scary Movie when the fucking demon fucks him.
Of course you are, Joe. Of course you are.
I'm sorry. He
No,
was talking
but
about demon.
We
letting demons
do. We
inside.
let the demons deep inside of us. Very deep.
I know.
They're just coming deep inside of him.
Well, that's the thing. When you drink, you let the demons, like, they thrust their entity inside of you
Okay.
over and over and over again.
All right.
You understand?
Yeah. Keep
Forcibly.
Keep
Yes.
telling people you're using Hinge, not Grindr.
Shut the fuck up.
So she gives you this ultimatum. What do you like? What's going through your head now? Are you going to give it one last stint, or are you just like, whatever?
I was too far gone.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot of this. I went to work, etc. I remember she had taken some stuff out of my place. She lived with her family. So she had some clothes and she had taken them out, and I didn't pay a lot of attention to that. I was just too in the thick of it. And then I wound up in the ER again one time, and she called off the wedding. And then I spent
damn.
6 months trying to work on myself at work. I started AA meetings. It was not easy for me to talk to men, even though I worked with a bunch of Neanderthals like myself back then. But, I asked guys to sponsor me. They're like, oh, I don't sponsor anymore. Only call me at 5 a.m. or only call me on this day and this day. And I got really frustrated because I'm like, these rooms are, and I had known some people in my life that were in the rooms.
Sure.
And they were handling life on life's terms, and they were thriving. They had desks, they had all these things occur in their lives, but they were doing well. I'm like, this is not the experience that people had told me about. You see in the movies where people will help you and they care.
Right.
So I kept going to meetings. I just didn't get a sponsor. I had taken 6 months to work on myself. The wedding was called off. She didn't want anything to do with me. I eventually,
were you abstinent? Were you using during these 6 months?
Occasionally. And here's the insanity of this disease, right? It was a month after she called off the wedding, and it was Easter, and she had blocked her number, changed it. I broke this girl's heart so bad that she thought about going to another state. And as an attorney, there's only so much law of reciprocity with your licenses. You'd have to take the bar exam all over. That's how, everything was scarred for her of Long Island because of me.
Yeah.
So I was at my mother's house. She texted me, Happy Easter. I had a panic attack. I went home to Lindenhurst, and I said, I'm going to do something to teach myself to never drink again. And I put a knife on the stove. I drank a lot of alcohol, had my Xanax, and I started blacking out in or out. And if you see my hands right here, it was a knife, and the gas was hot. Normally, if I used to cut myself as a child, there were thin slices. Because it was red hot, it went through my skin like butter.
So he's showing us a scar on his arm where he sliced himself with a burning hot knife.
Now, I thought the logic here was, if I ever go to drink again, I'm going to see these things here.
Let me see that one again.
So,
wow.
This was not the way I intended it to look. I wanted it to be minor, but when you're blacking out and it's red hot,
you don't even fucking feel it.
It goes right through butter.
Yeah.
But again, all the insane things I would do until, again, I found some real solutions with all this.
So what year is this?
2014.
2014. So you go back to meetings. You're not, and we say this all the time, not everybody in these meetings are doing the right thing and the audio and visual matches up. There are people that are getting better and changing, not just putting down the drink or the drug, but putting effort into changing, becoming better people. But it's kind of like that old saying, don't let like a few bad apples spoil the bunch. But like that can happen when you see people, you're like, oh, this is just bullshit. These guys are fucking talking shit like who they are and they're just living dirty. Like, I don't want to be like that. This is bullshit. So is that kind of the experience you were having when you came back around that time in 2014?
Kind of. And again, I work in finance. It's a numbers game. You said you're in sales. You know what it's like.
I was in sales. Yeah.
Okay. If we're doing drugs, we call a million dealers, a million psychiatrists. We drive to Queens, Brooklyn, wherever we have to go to get our stuff. So the concept of a numbers game was not foreign to me. I kept asking some friends, do you know anyone that could sponsor me? Do you know any good meetings? So I kept coming. It felt like an elite crew of people that were happy and thriving in the rooms. I just couldn't get involved. So I kept thinking, like the board of directors panel, I had to find a back way in somehow to get to find this out. But eventually, 6 months later, I found this other amazing woman, and we were together for 4 years. That led into a divorce, and after a miscarriage. But I had started step work in this relationship, got to step 4. My sponsor had relapsed. I had taken his sponsor on. The connection wasn't great, but I saw the power of writing some inventory about really dealing with this, and it helped me in a way that was different than 20-something years of therapy. The therapy helped, but it had to be something bigger than myself, as you guys know. That really helped me, and I started to get a closer connection to God. I started to meet some good people in the rooms, people that got to know me, raise my hand, get a coin, talk to some people in the parking lot, maybe go for coffee. So even though I started this, the damage was done in this relationship. I didn't address all the issues. But the other tragic mistake, and I've made plenty, as you guys have heard, is I made everything my higher power. It was to save the marriage, the family, this, that, etc. Getting married, the shame of getting divorced. So I didn't follow all the suggestions. So it led to a divorce, and the alcohol still came in my life to an extent, on or off. But somehow,
wait, sorry, when did you get married?
6 months after the engagement was called off, I met another woman. So from
right after 2014.
Oh
yeah.
wow! So,
yeah,
because it was so much there.
Yeah.
So
right after
the wedding was
a lot of hostages.
So that woman's gone, and you met a new woman, and you married her. This was a quick thing.
Well, you guys are sports fans, right?
Yeah,
Talk about
absolutely.
hat tricks. I met her on November 18th, 2014. I proposed 2 years later on that date. 2 years later on that date, she's filing the divorce, and I'm moving out.
Oh, wow.
4 years.
That's
So,
pretty quick.
and are you sober during that time?
I had started when I was in that relationship, and I started
That's
in
what
the
I'm
rooms.
saying. Yeah. So how long were you sober for at that time as you went through the steps and stuff like that? And were you still like on meds from your psychiatrist or whatever, your doctor, while you were doing that?
Yeah, meds were from 27 years old up until 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
That never,
Okay.
I mean, the type of meds changed, but
No,
all
of course.
consistent with
Yeah,
meds.
yeah.
I had started with her. I got sober before we got married. But again, the damage was done. I started going to meetings. I remember we lived in Massapequa. There was a massive snowstorm. It was like 18 inches of snow. And I remember her telling me, I'm really impressed. You got up at 4 a.m. to shovel 2 feet of snow, 100-something feet wide, to get to your A meeting. And so she saw me trying, but the resentment she had from the way I was for years couldn't change. And that's not her fault. I bought all that upon everyone, you know?
Yeah.
So it eventually led to a divorce. And I took time to work on myself. And then COVID came. And then,
2020.
Then everything was just Zoom. I left the safety of the herd. I had gotten so far, but I had 4 years of pseudo sobriety. No pure alcohol, no cocaine, no real drugs per se, medicine, weed. I mean, like pseudo sobriety, right? So let's be real. Drinking cough syrup to sleep, counts, and I shouldn't have been doing that. But I remember I met this amazing woman, the last one, and she was in a severe accident with traumatic brain injury. She's been bedbound for 11 years. Myoclonic seizures, tremors.
This happened while she was with you?
No, I actually met her like this.
Okay.
So my family couldn't understand what is an able-bodied adult dating a disabled woman that needs a 24-hour in a bed and they can't walk from a horrible accident. And I didn't have the support of my family. I couldn't talk to a lot of people about it because they were like, why are you dating this person? My own cousin said, why don't you date someone that's normal? And if it wasn't my cousin, I would have strangled him. I'm saying I'm not a violent guy, but I know that was the best he could deliver it in. So I said, listen. So I talked to my partner at work. He has a disabled son, and he actually understood. And it gave him some hope that someone could eventually fall in love with his son and advocate for him. So he helped me through this time.
How did you fall in love with her?
Yeah, because that's a good question.
How did you fall in love with her?
That's a good question phrased in a different way, just like Justin did, because it is interesting, to know, what was it about her that you had that feeling where everybody else might just not be there?
I could put it to you this way. I had no business dating the women that I did. They were all far better, far smarter than me. A number of them were valedictorians. That wasn't an option on dating sites like Match back in the day. So I don't know what they
saw. Not on the sites I'm on.
Exactly. Not on his either.
No cap.
But so, they were professionals, but they had huge hearts. There were some things I looked at in partners and friends that just somebody who's open-minded, whose moral compass points north. So I saw things in my mother that I tried to replicate in friends or significant others that could help me, not like my father. So this young lady used to be an attorney also, but she was so loving, understanding, cared about everyone. And she had a life before the accident where she looked out for everyone. So something we had in common. She had an accident. They all left her like the plague. So I started playing God. Again, I'm not in A anymore. It's COVID, right? I left the safety of the fellowship.
So just so the listener, during COVID, a lot of the meetings, most meetings stopped meeting in person and they started doing it online, which was a completely different dynamic. And like you're saying, you didn't have that herd around you. Yeah.
So you're on Zoom.
Yeah. And I just, again, I didn't know that many people in the rooms. So it was that much easier to not be around the herd. So I started working 7 days a week, after the divorce, build myself back up. I started playing God, getting all these doctor's appointments for my girlfriend to help her get better, and all these fears kick up. Like, how am I going to take care of her? How am I going to do this? So I'm begging God for help, demanding why he's not listening. I'm playing God in my life, and I Peaky Blinders. I watched that show over and over during COVID. It was the only
good.
thing, right?
So fucking good.
Thomas Shelby. He's the man, right?
Such a great show.
But I'd love that he was calculating, reserved, on point. So
I love the part where he's like, why doesn't anybody just fucking listen to me?
Exactly.
I was like, control freak motherfucker. That's like me. If people would just listen to me,
exactly.
everything would be okay.
Right. He was kind of right there. They should have fucking listened.
Exactly back then.
Yeah.
But so
Peaky fucking Blinders.
Yes. But I sat there and I thought, Thomas Shelby can drink. And I said, it's been 4 years. And this was the last real tragic mistake I think I made. And I said, I can have one. And I went on and I bought a flask. And I'm not joking in terms of the time. By the time the liquor hit my tonsils, 12 seconds later, I grabbed my keys, I had my wallet, and in a millisecond, the phenomenon of craving came right back.
That's right.
In a millisecond, said, this is not enough for tonight. Get the hell out. Go get more. And I was out the door in 12 seconds. And I was drinking and using for 2 years when I finally wound up roaming the streets, and I wound up going to my last rehab.
Because you were watching Peaky Blinders and you saw how Tommy
Because
Shelby
I wasn't drinking with Thomas Shelby. That's the problem.
hilarious.
So real quick, just we got to go back, just because there's so much to your story, and thank you for just being so candid and being able to speak like you do and express yourself like you do and take us through this whole thing. And I would definitely want to get back to that because that's hysterical, and I get it, 100%. But at this time, are you still with your girl?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you just walk me through, because again, it's for the listener, just for me and Justin and Casey too, it's just interesting, like, because you never talked about how'd you met her, like how did you actually meet your girl and get to the point where you fell in love with her, and again, you weren't thinking about where she was, but you were thinking about who she was and just loving the person.
Good question. And thank you for the compliment. I don't accept compliments easily, but
No,
no, you mean it well, and I'm working on receiving it well. Thank you. I was never that guy to pick up girls in bars and clubs. That just wasn't my thing. If I met someone like that, I wasn't excited because I didn't know who they were. So I was always more of a what you see is what you get type person. So I went on real sites back then, Match, Plenty of Fish, where you paid, you wrote a nice profile, you had a number of pictures, you talked on the phone, you see if you clicked, and you met up with someone. So that's how I had met all the great ones in my life, including this young lady. So we started talking. She explained her accident. She explained she was working on her physical recovery. Her life had nothing to do with substances. It was just a high achiever, high performer, the most humble person I've ever met in my life.
But it's like what we talked about before about this, not just being about AA, just people that have gone through struggle and how they got through it. You know, like
Absolutely.
I get it. That's awesome. All right, continue.
She's been my role model ever since.
Yeah.
So even in my recovery now, I ask myself, when I see her routines that she sends on WhatsApp to a couple of us friends, this is what she does for 3-4 hours a day in her recovery. Who the hell am I to actually sit there and complain about praying, meditating, doing step work with a couple of guys, making a coffee commitment or something like that?
That's right.
This is somebody who just had one horrible thing happen and is fighting for their life back. And I respect that. What's that expression I heard recently? Rock bottom has created more champions than privilege ever has.
That's fucking right.
And all the movies we cry at the most are what? Turnaround stories, right? Tearjerkers, the average Jack or Jill that just turns everything around through adversity. And that's the encouraging thing about life.
Yeah. That's what people could identify too, is struggle. Because most of us are fucking out here doggy paddling in the middle of the ocean waiting for somebody to help us. It's not easy. So a lot of people identify with that and they want a fucking comeback story because they want to believe they could do it too.
Yeah.
Like people want to be inspired to change. It's just that inspiration only lasts so long. Then you have to have like a fire within to really want it because it's hard. It's hard to change.
Build the foundation while you have the inspiration.
Yeah, that's right.
Good.
That's right. That's why I talk about like that window. That window of desperation, so small. You have to jump fucking through it both feet. Otherwise, if one pinky out, it's sucking you back into the wormhole.
When you're in it, you just think that inspiration is going to last forever.
That's right.
Like, I'm going to be fine because I don't want to drink right now. I never want to touch a drink forever. But we all been through that. Even non-alcoholics, when they go, they get drunk and they're hungover the next day. I'm never drinking again. That's a mini version of it. They're inspired by not wanting to feel that disgusting nausea ever again and the headaches. So they say they're never going to drink again, and they mean it. But then the next day comes around, they start to feel a little bit better. Maybe we'll go out for happy hour. Yeah. And that's a smaller version of what an alcoholic will go through with that little window of inspiration, and you got to capitalize and build the foundation, get the sponsor, go through the steps. So when that inspiration, that desperation fades away, you have this foundation of recovery to fall back on.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's just a lot of stuff and a lot of stuff to take on during that time. And now you're with this beautiful woman. And when you go out, she stays by you right away? Like when you go back out and start drinking and drugging again?
Well, she's bedbound in her parents' home and 24-hour aids. So getting her to go out requires putting her in a wheelchair, logistically, going out. It's a process. So normally I would go there and stuff like that. A lot of times I hit it. Sometimes she knew. And of course, sometimes I was blasted out of my mind and I called and she heard her parents and it was just horrible. I mean, the more, I started drinking again. And again, that night with Thomas Shelby, right? It started. And then I got angry at God for not making her better. I got angry at people for not respecting or supporting my decision. I got all the fears in the world. Again, I was more fear-driven in my life than resentful-driven. Some people the opposite. We're all different, I guess. But at the end of the day, I resented myself more than anyone else in my life. I felt bad resenting you or someone else for long, and it just went back to me at the end of the night. It was just my heart, whatever.
I was the same way.
Yeah. That's why I had myself on my fourth step, because I hated me more than anybody else in this world at that point.
I had to do that too. Learned a lot about that. Things that therapy didn't really help me per se. And I'm not knocking therapy, but it was this work with someone else that, like can walk you through it, that's been through it, that helped me.
Yeah, the problem is it's not, because I used to make blanket statements. It's not therapy, it's not physical therapist, it's not this, it's not that. It's just like everything else. There's good apples, there's bad apples. There's people really trying to help people and really in it for the right reasons, and then people just going through like a fucking Rolodex of things that should be done and not really dealing with the person. And it's just like, oh, this is what the paper says for this specific thing. Here, take this. Like, you know what I mean? So you're back out now and you're ripping and running. What leads you to that last rehab though? And what kind of change happened in that last rehab? How did you get more open-minded this time around?
Here's the fun part, at least for me, was the worst bottom, but the most learning, right? Always around the same time. Mom moved to Florida. The 30-year relationship she was in just, went on its own. The man she was meeting, that she was seeing was a great guy, but he drank, not a full-blown alcoholic, functional, let's say, and I'm not judging him, but he just became very belligerent. And after 32 years, he kept saying, leave, go to Florida with your family, they're down there, whatever. Eventually, Mom decided to go to Florida. So I had to make a decision. And do I leave this lady behind and my partner at work with everything I built, this team, this empire I was building? Or do I go to Florida and, and be there with Mom and try and build it on there and not lose what I have at work, but just remote? So I moved to Babylon Village. I gave myself a year to figure things out, see how Mom likes it there. And at this point, I just got myself kicked out of every establishment in Babylon Village. Not because I was loud or obnoxious or rude or aggressive or violent. Just the blackouts and walking all over the place and them having to bring me to my apartment, all the restaurants down there and whatever. And the property manager calling my family. And it was January of 23. Where my sister sends me a text message and she says, we haven't seen you for Christmas, New Year's, or Thanksgiving. You were supposed to come. So we're getting phone calls from everyone. We're worried about you, but we're going to take a break from you. We love you. We care about you, but we need you to get better. So please finally work on yourself. And, my mother had called me at times. So I came up with this brilliant idea that I was going to quit everything in 72 hours. I was... To give you some context, I was taking a bottle of melatonin a day, a bottle of Benadryl, a bottle of Tylenol PM. I'd walk to the bodega, get 20-something of those Fireball whiskey bottles in the morning. I'd come home, I'd drink 4. That was the recipe where I would throw up enough. I'd have to eat and then drink 8 or 10 more. And then set my alarm for 12 because I would try and work from home. I didn't want to go into work. I was hiding.
But this is all to calm your brain down enough just so you could get some sleep.
Exactly. At this point, I just wanted to sleep the whole time.
Now, what was keeping you up?
That was anxiety. Like, I just didn't want to participate. I was angry at the world. I was afraid. I was alone.
This anxiety, though, was it?
Your brain off.
Yeah, was it like voices? Was it like an internal monologue that was giving you the anxiety?
I'm not one for horror movies, but whenever you see them saying like I'm crawling out of my skin or something comes like alien from inside of them, that's what it perpetually felt like. Yeah. I was never present. I was worried about the future. I regretted the past. I was always wondering and worrying about everything.
Regret the past and worrying about the future. Yeah.
Fear of the future. I used to.
You weren't present.
I used to bite my fingernails so far they used to bleed all the time and wrap fucking tape around them.
That bad?
So bad that they would be in so much pain. Band-Aids would work, but if I could, a Scotch tape, I would just wrap it so tight to cut the circulation off so it would stop pain because I'd bite them and pick them so low because you're just never comfortable in your own skin. You never, wherever you are, you want to be somewhere else. It's fucking
it's
miserable.
The worst.
So... Good. I'm sorry. You're dealing with this. That's great. You're just trying to quiet your brain down and get some sleep so you can go to work the next day.
Yeah.
It's not like you party and fucking try.
None of that. No. And most of the time, I'm
survival at this point.
Yeah. I'm going to work for a half hour from Deer Park, to where the office is. And then I haul ass and leave early and go work from home so no one sees how bad I am. And then I would drink then. I'd drink at 4 o'clock. The market's closed. I'm like, all right, I can always say I'm sick if they call. I'm not responsible to answer at this time. Again, the craziness that ensues. And then I'm going out to the bars and just to drink massive amounts, 3 triples, another 3 triples, another 3, down the block to the other place, another 3, another 3, the Xanax, the weed. And I remember seeing my mother telling me at one point, this is within 24 hours when I started, and I had stopped actually with that message from my sister. And she said that it's 7 o'clock at night. And I thought there were 2 different time zones in New York. And I'm sending her a picture that says it's 7 o'clock in the morning, Mom, not 7 o'clock at night. She goes, what are you talking about? So I stopped everything. I remember going for a walk at night. I think I vaguely remember officers talking to me in the back, saying people called, I was acting weird. At this point, I was in psychosis and I was hallucinating, and not the fun kind. So this was from all the withdrawals. Later on, I realized without alcohol and benzos, you can have seizures. I had one not too long before that. Hallucinations, you can die.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
I didn't know that at the time. So I'm wondering why life doesn't feel right at this moment, okay, etc. I remember the day before, it took me 15 minutes to walk from my bathroom to my bedroom. It wasn't seizures. It's just like inability to move, like short circuit. I don't know what it was. I still don't know what it
No,
was.
short circuit. It's pretty accurate. You were short circuit.
Yeah, basically.
So I wound up walking, and the police found me at 4 a.m, 6 miles away. It was freezing out. I didn't know what my car was. My car was missing. Later, I found out it was repossessed. Again, total loss of reality. And the officers were there, and I remember the guy to the left, and I thought I knew him. And I said, "Officer, I know you. I'm going to say a word that you remember." And he says, "I'm sorry, I don't know you." And I said, whatever word I said, he goes, "I'm sorry, I don't know you." And he goes, "Are you okay, sir?" And I said, "I don't know. My mother said I wasn't acting right. Would you like to go to the ER?" And then I went to, I think, Good Sam. And then there was a doctor there who asked me about what medicines, hallucinogens I'd taken. I said, "I don't." The only thing I did actually successfully quit. But I always say that you can't dance with the devil forever and expect to walk away unscathed. So the doctor came up to me and says, "I remember your name. Do you remember mine?" I said, "No, you have an uncommon name. You were here 12 years ago for anxiety and depression." And then it was like, that's when I really felt the lowest level of rock bottom. I had called my employer and I said, "I'm in the hospital again. I'm sorry." And he just effing get help. And he hung up the phone. I was there for 3-4 days. They brought me to Urban Recovery. And I just remember demanding a big book.
Is that a rehab, urban recovery?
Yeah, in Brooklyn. And I had stopped smoking cigarettes for, through detox, you put a lot of stuff, but I stopped cigarettes for 3 weeks. But I asked for a big book and I demanded it. And I said, "This works for people." And there was a guy, my roommate there, a guy named Jimmy. And he said he was a circuit speaker for AA. He needed a book inside and out, but he's been in 60-something rehabs. And I said, "Jimmy, with all due respect, if you know that this works, you were in the rooms, you sponsor guys, you know this in and out, why are you still repeating the rehab thing?" And he said, "Oh, I'm on methadone. I have to get off 195 milligrams. Should take 6 months or a year." And I was like, "Oh, wow, I'm sorry to hear." But I'd never experienced that. But I said, I pray for this guy. I hope he's going to be right. This cannot be me. I raced through the big book. And then my family tells me that you're going to a sober house. I'm getting evicted from my apartment. My car's repossessed. And my mother has a normal English accent. She came from Greece. But I impersonate her a lot. And I
She's an
exaggerate.
English accent?
Was that? Well, her English is good, but she's from Greece. But I heavily exaggerate her Greek accent.
Yeah.
So she sees the sober house on the website. She's like, "Marinos, it's a beautiful house, a beautiful kitchen. You're going to love it. You can cook and this and that."
I love it.
So
And I'm like,
Justin,
"Oh, God."
that's how an accent's
how an
supposed to
accent
sound.
sounds. That's how an accent
You
sounds.
that's a great accent.
Yeah, get him a sandwich.
Yeah.
So I sat there and I'm like, that guy Jimmy's like, "Oh, you're in trouble, man. They have a halfway house, 3/4 house, long-term care." I'm like, "Where the hell am I going? I got to go to a sober house. What is this? I've heard of them. It's like a unicorn. Everyone's heard about it, but no one's ever seen one. But the exact opposite of a unicorn experience or your lioness situation, right?"
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like a male lion comes after you.
Yeah, no. She was female.
Exactly. But I wound up going there, and the house manager he ran houses for 16 years and later became a great friend. But I was freaking out. If I had any money, $100 in my pocket, a car, I would have left. I thought I wouldn't have relapsed, and I'm sure I would have. So the best thing to me was losing everything and becoming so shattered. I was stuck in a situation where I had no choice but to die or get better.
Gift of desperation.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's huge because again, the same thing happened to me. It had to be all taken away. There was just I was in and out for 10 years, but like hitting rock bottom, and it could be an emotional rock bottom. There's guys that have $1 million in the bank and hit rock bottom, but for you, you've been there before, but you never really hit rock bottom. You always could get
there's
out
some
of it.
safety net.
Yes.
Yeah, now it's gone.
always. Now it's all
Now it's gone.
gone. Yeah, ripped out from under you.
Yeah,
So
it's bedrock.
when
Yeah.
is it instant though, or like once you get into those places, what is it like for you? Are you hungry for the information? Are you resistant? Are you at every meeting? Are you
Well, you
asking
demanded
questions?
a big book as soon as you got there.
Yeah, but you could
rehab,
do that
yeah.
in the beginning. All I'm
Right.
saying is, we could acquire a lot of things. We're very good at that. All of us have acquired plenty of stuff. Maintenance and retention is very difficult.
Yeah.
So, like, I get that you asked for a big book, and but I've done the same thing. I've done the 1, 2, 3 shuffle, like fucking hair on fire. But it's another thing to maintain that and retain that. So, what was that like going through your experience? in rehab and speakers coming in? And how did you handle that? How hungry were you?
At a recovery, urban recovery, the rehab, I attended the meetings. First couple of days were rough because I was still hallucinating or whatnot. They changed all my meds, no Xanax, whatever. I was on Busprin, a couple other things.
Crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So we're all stuck on one floor. They let you go on the roof to sit there and have cigarettes 3 times a day. So I sat there and I'm looking at the scenery. I'm like, I just want my life back. I've lost everything. How am I going to do this? So 2 weeks I'm demanding for the big book, and I get it. Again, they had a couple speakers come and art therapy, whatever they had. But the speakers were good, and I appreciated that. In addition to everything else they had. But some of the counselors like, well, AA can work if people want to. There's other things too, and that's just their mindset. That's fine. But I wanted AA. I knew it worked. I had seen it. I had gotten a taste and a touch of it. So when I got to the sober house, it was hard. I had some guys in the house that weren't very nice. There was a lot of rules, which I was fine with. Just, give me the lay of the land. I'll do everything you want. But again, to give you some more context, I had no family on Long Island. I had no one around. No one came to visit. No one came to pick me up. So this was really the gift of desperation. I mean,
That's right.
now on my own.
Starting over.
And your
Yeah.
wife, you kept in touch with your wife?
Well, the girl I was dating, we had stopped dating, but we were still friends.
Okay.
But I had physically no one, no family around anyone that could come visit me, take me out for the day, go to a park, talk, anything.
No.
So this was in Freeport. There was a park down the block, and I was that guy for the first month or so. Around the neighborhood, we had a curfew at the house. Yeah, I'm sure you know what it's like. You got to, so forth. So I was walking around the neighborhood, screaming and yelling at God, just God, fucking kill me or give me a sign. And I wasn't walking within the immediate vicinity of the house. I had to do it where neighbors wouldn't recognize me. And I'm screaming this at the top of my lungs.
Right.
Effing kill me or give me a sign.
Yeah.
You wanted me this broken? You wanted me this desperate? Give me the sign, I'll do it. If not, just kill me.
Right.
And I would, on the way to work, I had to take public transportation. I couldn't figure it out to go 14 miles to where I work, but public transportation took 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And then to work 12 hours, come back, go to mandatory A meetings, go to outpatient, be home by curfew. It wasn't manageable.
Right.
So then I had to figure out a different patient. But the first Sunday I was there, the owner, one of the 2 owners of the home came there and he shook my hand and he welcomed me. And
At
that
the sober house?
Yeah. That was young guy. Everyone says he sounds older. You meet him and you could just feel the love in his hand of the fellowship. And that calmed me down. Then the house meeting, my first sponsor, and he's talking about the big book, and he's laughing. He's on fire. He knows the book better than anyone I've met. Short little guy, all length up. But they always told me, if you want a sponsor, find someone who has what you want. That spiritual freedom, that's working the steps, a home group, a commitment, that's living life, whatever that may be.
Right.
This guy was the poster boy of it. I wanted what this guy has. I went up to him. I said, please, I'll do anything if you sponsor me.
Right.
And we started the steps. I was probably one of the guys that, and I say there's no pride or ego, that taught him a lot of patience. Because I don't know how. He told me that too at my 1-year coin anniversary. And but he helped me and he was there for me, and he had a lot of patience. And all I can tell you is that I got my steps done in 4 months. And I flew all over the country, Florida, wherever I had to go to make amends. He told me he made an amends one time, and he went back to the judge and told him what he had done, and he didn't want to face his creator and lose his spiritual freedom, and he went to jail for a couple months. And you lead by example in this world. You respect those
that's
people.
a big amends.
That's right.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Listen, if that's what he's willing to do,
Right.
I took a lot of hostages with my disease, the way I was. Maybe I was a nice guy during the day, but a maniac on the substance or the sauce, whatever. Right. So I made a list. I went through it, but he said, you're still in a lot of pain, and maybe you want to go through the steps again for a different experience. And at first I thought I was getting dumped, right? All ego-driven, right? Fears. It's like, no, I'm still here. And I took on his sponsor, and it was the best thing I ever did. And then I started sponsoring guys, and I learned more about recovery by taking others through it, calling my 2 sponsors before, after, what do I do? What do I say? Speaker tapes, because the way I always looked at life, I chased this disease to put myself to sleep. I mean, I told you how bad my drinking was, an example. If I'm not going to chase the solution just as strongly, then what the hell am I doing?
Right.
Because I kept thinking to myself when I first got to the house, I'm 47, 48. For the first 3 months, I thought I was still hallucinating, and this was a horrible dream. But I kept saying, I'm almost 50. Where did the last couple of years go? So unlike a lot of guys that come a little bit younger, I'd see some of the younger guys on the couch all day long. I'm like, why don't they want to get their lives back on track?
Right.
I had to realize I was almost one of those old timers that had to lose everything
That's right.
to fight for the little time I had left.
They weren't there yet.
So yeah.
And so you actually one of your sponsees came with you today, right?
Yeah, by choice. By choice, yeah.
Oh wow!
Not another hostage.
No, exactly. There we go.
What's his name?
Alex?
Alex. Say hi, Alex. Alex. And you also brought another friend, Skylar.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. See,
Great
this is
friends,
the
guys.
program here. These people came to come with you to just to support you because you're coming on a podcast, and it's just part of the brotherhood.
Yeah, the
basically.
fellowship.
Yeah.
Fellowship. Yeah.
Well, and you've been through so much, like what you said before about not being on meds for a while, because I want to get into that a little bit too, because you said so many different things, and there's so many different things we could address. Like you talked about cutting when you were younger. I want to talk about that because there's so much more depth than just drugs and alcohol. You've been dealing with this anxiety and this feeling of loss and not good enough and resentment for so long. And like I definitely want to get back to that. But during this time, when you were at the rehab, they took you off your meds, correct? That was the first time you weren't on like Xanax or
They
anything
took
like
me off
that.
Xanax. It was basically anything that wasn't mind altering or controlled.
Yes.
So I had done that in the past, but this was not losing everything now in my life.
Yes.
And no safety net, family, gone. Now it's like, where am I going to be played? Almost like a ward of the state.
Yeah. And so you told me before you haven't done any of that stuff for 3 years for the first time. So now you're here, right? And you're getting sober, but also these tools are helping you with your anxiety and everything else, right? Things that therapy didn't do for you.
1,000%. I remember telling my sponsor, if I didn't have substance abuse issues and I had followed this program for anxiety and depression, it would have worked just as well. It was something bigger than myself that could help me. And I had been searching for that my entire life.
I always say that, like, you don't need to be an alcoholic for these steps to help you.
No, absolutely. And that's what I want to get to. I mean, look, I want to kind of talk to the guest about your philosophy for life because you've been through so much. And again, this hasn't just helped you with drugs and alcohol. It helps you deal with life on life's terms and the anxiety and depression. And I want to kind of like cue them in a little detail of some of the things that really hit home for you that allow you to cope with life, that you go back to as tools. But I do want to bring up, if you don't mind, the fact of what you brought up before, because we didn't even touch that. And there's a lot of people out there now that are into cutting and stuff like that. And I just want to ask you, like, that started when you were young, the cutting?
Self-harm, yeah.
Yeah, that started 16, 17, 18.
16, 17, 18. And what was that? How did that become an outlet? What made you go to that?
Great question. I don't think I had seen it or observed it anywhere. Studying it over years, I think I heard that more women tend to do it than men. I was never afraid of my feelings. I talked about them. I couldn't talk about a lot of men, so a lot of my friends are females. I think it was actually 17, 18. I think I started and I said, let me do it where no one can see. But the second I had done it, I just felt cathartic, like you hear people talking about, like it releases pain. Again, I wanted the pain and the suffering to be gone. I just couldn't find a healthy way to do it or to address it. And I don't know how it came about. I wish I could tell you I'm sorry. And it wasn't a frequent thing in my life.
No.
It was a couple times then.
But was there something specific or was it a buildup? Meaning, was it a buildup of all this anxiety where it just, you couldn't take it anymore and you just did it? Or did something set that first attempt off?
I was at my father's store when I started it, and I was working for him. And I remember it being late at night, and I was having a lot of tension working with him. Not that wasn't the problem. Trying to focus on a better relationship, and I was in denial, trying to accept the fact that he's only capable of so much. You know, it was hard to have acceptance, and I was trying so hard. Like, you put more effort into loving somebody, more effort into being there. You give everything of yourself to them or to someone, and it's just not matched. And when you're 16, 17, 18, you're still learning the way of the world. You're still maturing. Your brain's still developing, and it's like you just don't know how to stop. I wasn't into drugs. I wasn't into alcohol. I didn't smoke cigarettes. So I guess I don't know how the idea came to me.
It just came, and it felt good.
To harm myself, I think it was that in a way that no one would notice it. Couldn't punch myself, couldn't jump off a bridge, couldn't kill myself.
But it felt good.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a control thing too. Like you get sick of hope is a weird thing because it's a beautiful thing, but also like you can't help after all you've been through with your father. He's still your dad, and you still just seek that love from him. And now all of a sudden, like it's almost like a control thing at some point too, where I'm gonna hurt myself. You're not gonna hurt me. I'm gonna hurt me.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And it's just wild. That's why I want to talk, because there's a lot of people that deal with that now. And now that lasted for a short time, and you found other outlets. But now that you're into the program and you did all this work, how do you manage all that stuff now? Like, what kind of tools do you use through the program, through your higher power, and what are kind of some of your philosophies you live by today to get you through all this stuff?
Another good question. Couple concepts, if I can start with that, if you wanted that. It was something I heard in my home group. They said, we don't always get the answers that we want when we want them, but we do get the answers that we need in time. So early in recovery in the sober house, I heard that. I started to marinate, and I saw some miracles of the promises coming true. So I started to see how this game was played. It's not going to happen on Marinos' time. It's not going to say what I want it to happen. It's going to happen on God's time.
Yes.
So I started to see the more I gave up, the less expectations I had, the more I worked this program, the better life got. You know, there were some rough things that still happened, but the anxiety started to subside. The depression started to subside. The ego started to subside. So again, when I went through my steps in 4 months, I did them again. I was hesitant, scared sponsoring guys because I was afraid that what if they died or relapsed, and people, my sponsors would tell me, listen, stop playing God. You can't keep them sober. You can't make them drink. That's up to them. It's a necessary experience. So I dove into sponsoring. And I went up to a bunch of guys at meetings at the sober house, anywhere I could. I'm like, hey, you need help? Welcome to the house. Because again, I had a bad experience. Not a bad. I was just one of the worst cases that the house ever had. People into my 1 year anniversary came up to me, my home group, and like, wow, you look healthy. You look happy. Like, can I tell you something? And please don't be upset. I'm like, sure, anything. Like, we honestly thought you were going to kill one of us or kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like, thank God you're better. Like, I'm like, oh my God, that's how bad I was. We forget how far we've grown. So I started sponsoring guys, and I didn't just wait for people to ask me speak. I called up all sorts of people. Can I get into a hospital? Can I get into a tuition? Can I go speak at Rikers? Can I go speak, at the Brooklyn Detention Center? Can I do service? Anything and everything. I saw that by doing maximum service, that things got better. And my sponsor would
Took
always
initiative and did service. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm older, so I don't have a wife or kids. So I said I have more free time, even though my career is a lot of work, and I help manage the sober house now with another gentleman. I just said, listen, my sponsor always says, how free do you want to be of this disease? My answer is 100%. How close you want to get to God? 100%.
Right.
It started working. So like an addict, we like to manipulate.
Right.
I'll manipulate the numbers or whatever. Just get more of the good stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm sponsoring guys now and some women overseas, here, locally. Anything I can do in the house. And the way I look at it, nightly inventory is big. On Awakening, I send it to some people, connect with some people. The speaker tapes were like the board of directors panels I told you guys when I was a kid.
Yes.
So now I got Yodas, like my sponsor and other people that I know, 10, 20, 40, 50 years, like Yoda talking about concepts, like Sandy B saying somebody killed his daughter and he didn't even care who killed her, but he found peace and forgave the guy. And I would hear it, to me, that's an advanced concept. How the hell do you get to that kind of spiritual level?
Right.
Because, my sponsor always said, the closer you get to God, the more present you are, the closer you get to God. So as I'm working to get closer and help others, I'm out of my head, which is a dangerous place sometimes.
So you're closer to God, so you're not fearing the future and resenting the past.
Yeah. And look, I'm off meds now.
Right.
And I'm not making any medical opinions for anyone. I'm off all meds. I only recently started Chantix to quit smoking. Okay. Unless the doctor tells me you're dying of a heart attack, you need some heart meds. No mood stabilizers, no antidepressants. I wanted to replace, at the sober house I learned, a book they told me, The Road Less Traveled by Scott Peck. Both my sponsors told me. And there were a lot of great concepts, but they started talking about replacing instant gratification with delayed. Mm-hmm. And I had to look at my life. Like,
sacrifice.
Everything's great when you delay it. But everything in my life was so programmed for, I want it now. I have this much, I want more.
Right.
So when you lose everything and you're waking up in a sober house, like you start realizing, hey, it takes time for something great. So I try and practice these principles. The speaker tapes help me.
What about your philosophy? What is your philosophy right now?
To help as many people as I can before I die.
Huh?
I mean, that makes sense because you said earlier in the episode when you just started talking about your childhood, how you were always into doing service. And what you're talking about now is beautiful because it's delayed gratification, which is, I just think is a very important tool to get used to. Because to me, I'm the same. That's the only way. I've acquired plenty of things, but I just lost them because I never had any gratitude for them. It's the only way that I've seen things that stick and that retention I'm talking about and maintenance. It's doing the little things over and over again and building consistency and that delayed gratification that if I just keep my head down and keep moving forward, everything's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. Whether that's good, bad, or whatever, I'm going to be okay. And that's faith. So like you're talking about things like you're doing service, something you've always wanted to do and felt that it was just inside of you. Like God almost gave it to you already. And that seed just took a while to flourish. And now you have that purpose. You have that gratitude. Yeah. And you live in a good life because of it because you obviously have a strong faith. So I can't tell you how awesome. Yeah, bet. How awesome it's been so awesome to have you on, man. I wish we could keep talking to you forever. And obviously, we're bringing people back on because there's so much to your story, and there's so much more that I want to ask you, and so many things that come to my mind because in each situation, there's a deeper dive into the mentality and state we were actually in, both as kind of like a person that was a victim and now a person that kind of surpasses that, right? Because they have God in their life. So there's so much more to get to, but it's just been a blessing to sit down and talk to you. You have a lot of good experience. I learned a lot from you, and I know our guests are going to too. So thank you.
Thank you guys. This is
Really,
great.
we really appreciate you coming down here.
Thanks for the service, helping people in all walks of life of pain and suffering and looking for solutions.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
You got a lot of riz, bro.
You got a lot of riz.
You got a lot of riz.
You got a lot
No
of riz.
cap.
No cap.
No cap.
Definitely.
On God.
On
On-
God,
on-
yeah.
Yeah, fire.
And some would say he's bussing.
Yeah, he is busting. And you know what?
I sounded so old when I said that.
I think I'm gonna crash out after this. Did I use that right, Casey?
I don't know. I'm going to have to fact check that.
If you mean crash out by get banged by 3 guys, then yes, you used it right.
Cap. Yo.
No
He's
cap.
Sus. Yo, this dude's sus, bro.
Let's
This
do some
dude's
service
sus.
for him outside.
Yeah. All right. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.